Why do so many people like working at the Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center?
The pay is awesome. What we do for our clients is awesome. The coworkers that we have, the staff, everybody is just, they're all welcoming.
I feel very supported. It's a great network of people that we have working here. We really work together, I think, to try to improve the lives of those that we serve.
The insurance is phenomenal. The cost is minimal. They're good to us. And the benefits are so great, you can't beat it.
Apply today.
When comfort matters, count on Capayas Heating and Cooling. Proudly serving St. Francis and surrounding counties, they are your local Bryant Factory authorized dealer, delivering top quality heating and cooling solutions for your home or business. Founded in 2004 by Chuck Capayas, a family-owned and operated company that you can trust. Visit capayasheatingandcooling.com today. Capayas Heating and Cooling in Farmington, 756-1224.
Looking for your next car, truck, van, or SUV? Point to Pettis. At Pettis Automotive, service, affordability, and selection are more than just words. They're the foundation of everything they do. You'll see the selection when you drive by any of their 3 locations. You'll feel the affordability when you talk to their experienced sales team. And you'll love the service every time you come in for maintenance. New or pre-owned, from Farmington to Fredericktown to DeSoto, point to Pettis. Visit pettisauto.com. Point to Pettis.
Do you often ask others to repeat themselves? Is the TV volume creeping up higher? Hi, I'm Dr. Karen Melton, and it could be time to have your hearing checked. Hearing loss happens gradually, making it hard to notice. At Hearing Care Partners, we offer thorough hearing evaluations that uncover even subtle changes in your hearing over time. Early detection can improve your hearing and your life. Start prioritizing your hearing today. Schedule your appointment now at hearingcarepartners.com. At Hearing Care Partners, we listen so you can hear.
Since 1941, Busenbark Flooring has been Southeast Missouri's trusted name in flooring. This family-owned business features top-quality carpet, tile, and hardwood, along with countertops, kitchens, and bathrooms, all with expert installation. Need to haul it? Busenbark Trailer Sales has you covered. Come see the large selection of dump trailers, equipment haulers, goosenecks, livestock trailers, and more. Visit busenbarkflooring.com and busenbarktrailersales.com, or stop by and see everything at the Fairgrounds exit on Highway 67.
Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling has the equipment and know-how to get that job done right. They dig basements, ponds, lakes, roads, and clearings and haul in the rock. Check out Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling's commercial work at Domino's in Farmington and Fredericktown and Leadbelt Motorsports. Call Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling today at 701-3258. That's 701-3258. Looking for top quality custom sportswear and activewear? Look no further than Nouveau Athletic. Nouveau Athletic blends innovative design with affordability, revolutionizing activewear for athletes, teams, and enthusiasts alike. From affordable, high-quality team practice wear to specialty sublimated activewear, Nouveau Athletic has grown to become a leader in sportswear and the industry, especially in cheer. Nouveau Athletic, where passion meets quality in every stitch.
For Nouveau Athletic custom apparel locally, contact Tia Cunningham at 573-701-6015.
Life can feel like an uphill climb, but no one has to face it alone. Everest Counseling, based in Farmington, has been empowering individuals and families for over 20 years, offering support through life's toughest challenges. Specializing in at-risk youth and serving rural communities, the experienced and compassionate team provides the guidance and the tools necessary to thrive. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, trauma, family conflicts, or just need someone to talk to, Everest Counseling provides personalized services to meet your needs. Contact Everest Counseling today at 573-330-4452.
After tonight, 1 week left in the regular season. If you're going to make changes, if you're going to make improvements, better happen now, and you better be at your best when it matters most in 2 weeks when the playoffs start in the state of Missouri. Thanks so much for joining us tonight from Central High School here in Park Hills on the Parkland podcast. We're in week number 8 of the high school football season, and the Dexter Bearcats, ranked 4th in the state and undefeated, make what has been a regular stop for them here at Park Hills Central. The Rebels went through a rash of turnovers. They still tried to find what would be the right offense for them, and they've arrived here with a winning record at 4-3. The Dexter Bearcats and the Central Rebels tonight on Parkland Sports Live. We'll break down the matchups for you, and we'll hear from Mike Reeves down on the field all before the kickoff. But the national anthem upcoming from the marching band for Central High. We step aside for that, and we're back with more of your pregame show with Knuckleball Primetime. Knuckleball Primetime pregame show. Courtesy of the Barn Media Group and Podcast Network, your one-stop destination for all things independent. Dirty Right Rear Podcast, Knuckleball Primetime, The Tippy Joe Show, Vulgar Display of Podcasts, Midwest Mixtapes, Bible Time at the Barn, and more. Something for everyone. Follow the Barn on all socials, and for the latest of your favorite show, wherever you get your podcasts. We're back after this on Parkland Sports Live.
Why do so many people like working at the Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center?
The pay is awesome. What we do for our clients is awesome. The coworkers that we have, the staff, everybody, it's just, they're all welcoming.
I feel very supported. It's a great network of people that we have working here. We really work together, I think, to try to improve the lives of those that we serve.
The insurance is phenomenal. The cost is minimal. They're good to us. And the benefits are so great, you can't beat it.
Apply today.
When comfort matters, count on Capayas Heating and Cooling. Proudly serving St. Francis and surrounding counties, they are your local Bryant Factory authorized dealer, delivering top quality heating and cooling solutions for your home or business. Founded in 2004 by Chuck Capayas, a family-owned and operated company that you can trust. Visit capayasheatingandcooling.com today. Capayas Heating and Cooling in Farmington, 756-1224.
Looking for your next car, truck, van, or SUV? Point to Pettis. At Pettis Automotive, service, affordability, and selection are more than just words. They're the foundation of everything they do. You'll see the selection when you drive by any of their 3 locations. You'll feel the affordability when you talk to their experienced sales team. And you'll love the service every time you come in for maintenance. New or pre-owned, from Farmington to Fredericktown to DeSoto, point to Pettis. Visit pettisauto.com. Point to Pettis.
Do you often ask others to repeat themselves? Is the TV volume creeping up higher? Hi, I'm Dr. Karen Melton, and it could be time to have your hearing checked. Hearing loss happens gradually, making it hard to notice. At Hearing Care Partners, we offer thorough hearing evaluations that uncover even subtle changes in your hearing over time. Early detection can improve your hearing and your life. Start prioritizing your hearing today. Schedule your appointment now at hearingcarepartners.com. At Hearing Care Partners, we listen so you can hear.
Since 1941, Busenbark Flooring has been Southeast Missouri's trusted name in flooring. This family-owned business features top-quality carpet, tile, and hardwood, along with countertops, kitchens, and bathrooms, all with expert installation. Need to haul it? Busenbark Trailer Sales has you covered. Come see the large selection of dump trailers, equipment haulers, goosenecks, livestock trailers, and more. Visit busenbarkflooring.com and busenbarktrailersales.com, or stop by and see everything at the Fairgrounds exit on Highway 67.
Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling has the equipment and know-how to get that job done right. They dig basements, ponds, lakes, roads, and clearings and haul in the rock. Check out Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling's commercial work at Domino's in Farmington and Fredericktown and Leadbelt Motorsports. Call Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling today at 701-3258. That's 701-3258. Looking for top-quality custom sportswear and activewear? Look no further than Nouveau Athletic. Nouveau Athletic blends innovative design with affordability, revolutionizing activewear for athletes, teams, and enthusiasts alike. From affordable, high-quality team practice wear to specialty sublimated activewear, Nouveau Athletic has grown to become a leader in sportswear and the industry, especially in cheer. Nouveau Athletic, where passion meets quality in every stitch.
For Nouveau Athletic custom apparel locally, contact Tia Cunningham at 573-701-6015.
Life can feel like an uphill climb, but no one has to face it alone. Everest Counseling, based in Farmington, has been empowering individuals and families for over 20 years, offering support through life's toughest challenges. Specializing in at-risk youth and serving rural communities, the experienced and compassionate team provides the guidance and the tools necessary to thrive. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, trauma, family conflicts, or just need someone to talk to, Everest Counseling provides personalized services to meet your needs. Contact Everest Counseling today at 573-330-4452.
Our matchup tonight, the Dexter Bearcats. They're ranked 4th in the state at 7-0. The Central Rebels, they're 4-3. But Coach Stolzer, they've had some great outings this year. In fact, just last week they played second-ranked Valley, and they had them down at the half. Now, Valley ended up winning by 3 scores in that ball game. And Kory Schweiss felt good about a lot of what happened in that ball game.
Yeah, it just, Central's got a decent football team. They can pass the ball and run the ball pretty evenly offensively. Defensively, they're pretty tough as well. And, I was talking to P.J. Jones before the game. We were discussing scores about this and that. And I said, well, the old adage, that's why you play them on Friday nights. You never know. You better be at your best. You better not take anybody too lightly. You never know what the outcome of the game is going to be.
There are certain points in the season, Coach, where if you feel like you're running everything well and your players are grasping everything well, you'll add to your package. You'll put in some wrinkles. You might develop a new side of your offense. Other years, maybe you're not running everything as well as you want to, and you want to simplify some things. This year, that's what Kory Schweiss has done. Kory, to me, has been one of the coaches around the area that has done one of the best jobs year in and year out, not running the same offense, but running an offense that suits his personnel best. This year, he felt like he needed to simplify some things.
Yeah, it's just, back when I was coaching, we played Central. You always had to be prepared for the unexpected story. You never could fall asleep or whatever. And if you remember earlier in the year, I guess it was the Jefferson game, we called them against, and they lined up in a triple I. Kory was giving me some grief about that because he listened to the broadcast, I guess, that next day, and he goes, "What were you doing? Tell him what we were probably going to do." Because, you've got companion plays for every play that you run, or not necessarily companion plays, but maybe play action passes or whatever. But, Kory always tries to get the most out of his kids, fits his offensive or defensive schemes to benefit what type of players you got.
They snuck their backup quarterback in right at the end, and they ran that double pass play.
Yeah.
That really was probably the difference in the game.
Now, you've got to adapt your schemes to what kind of players you got. I mean, if you run a spread offense, you're not going to be able to do that if you don't have some kids that can catch the ball and you don't have a good quarterback that can throw the ball to them. You don't want to have your typical power kind of team and try and run the spread with them or whatever, but you adapt to what you got, and I think Kory made some changes last week before they played Valley, and it worked out pretty well for him, and obviously we'll see how that goes tonight.
We'll see some different things, but a large portion of this offense is going to be essentially the two best running backs on this team, August Black and Karis Foster, lining up in tandem with essentially no quarterback on the field. So we'll see how that suits them. Dexter's 7-0, and Mike Reeves, what's interesting is this is a program 100 miles away from Park Hills that Central has played more often than many of their conference foes. In the last 14 years, they've played 17 times. Now, Central's come out on top in most of those engagements, 13-4, but it's a pair of programs that have mutual respect, and they both feel like it's a good matchup. They respect one another. It'll be a good game, and it'll be good preparation for the playoffs. The 7-0 record, though, for the Dexter Bearcats, we're not going to ho-hum it. They're 7-0, and their margin of victory is nearly 36 points, but their schedule hasn't necessarily been titanic either.
No, and I think it's interesting, two teams that, again, aren't in the same conference, obviously. Districts has led to a lot of those playing as often as they did. They started playing regular season when they knew they'd meet later on. But the opponents that Dexter has beaten, guys, they have a combined record of 16-34. So it is what it is. Now, if you want to look at Central's side, yes, they played a tougher schedule, but they haven't beaten those tougher teams. Their wins have come against teams that are 7-21. Their losses against teams that are a combined 20-1. So you can look at that side of it. Guys, I got this question for you. Coach, this is probably very valid for you and your thinking. I was thinking coming over, what are we going to do in terms of, will each coach show much tonight? Because there's a real good chance they play again later this year. Very good chance. Well, does it matter, Coach, that the travel part? Do you want that game at home if you're going to have to play again? Do you put all out on the line tonight to make sure you get that better seed? I kind of wonder how much the home field will matter to state playoff game.
Well, I always went with the mortal words of Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. There's no place like home. And, of course, you're going to try and get that home field advantage, play in front of your home. You'd much rather, it doesn't matter if you go 5 miles, 50, or 100, like the distance between Dexter and here. You're always going to want to play at home. So, I'm sure each team is going to do whatever they have to do. And, if they come to head-to-head battle in the playoffs in a couple of weeks, I'm sure you'll see more wrinkles.
You know what's fun about working with this crew when we all got in the booth before the game? Mike Reeves walks in and he says, "Did you know this, and this about this matchup?" Bob Stolzer gave us some facts. Our engineer, Jacob Towers, we walk in and he says, "You know what? Dexter has a 17-game regular season winning streak, and the last team that's beaten them during the regular season, yeah, the Central Rebels knocked them off in 2023 and beat them bad, 44-10. But they've had some good playoff matchups as well. The Dexter Bearcats this year are led by a sensational running back. His name is Devin Turnbow, and he averages 113 yards rushing a game. He's big, he's strong, and he's fast. And he can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he can block. He's one of the complete packages. I talked to P.J. Jones this week, or went to practice and observed what they did. They feel like Jason Hrvojevic is going to be one of the keys to the game. He's the fullback. He'll line up behind the quarterback, but sometimes he'll line up in the slot, and the defensive keys will be based upon where Hrvojevic lines up.
Both impressive running backs. You know, I was looking at the paperwork that you sent me and looked at Dexter's 2 good backs they've got. And Park Hills, both their backs, you know, the black kid and Foster, they both carry the ball very well in the games I've seen this year. So both teams have a couple of studs that can pack the ball or whatever. And then, of course, if they need to throw the ball, get Brody Pig back in there. I've been impressed all year with the way Brody throws. And Gootley from Dexter, he's got some nice numbers too. So both offenses are able to throw or run the ball.
Central in their reds. They'll be receiving the kickoff as we start our ball game. Thanks for joining us for the Knuckleball Primetime pregame show. We'll have the Capayas Heating and Cooling starting lineups coming up here in just a few moments. It'll be Karis Foster and August Black, the deep men for Central. Jackson Medler to kick it off for Dexter, and they're in the white uniforms and the red helmets. This kick is high and deep, and Black goes all the way back in the end zone. He fakes the reverse to Karis Foster. Black has the 20-yard line and dives down to the 23, and that's where the Central offense will start. We'll have Brody Pig as the quarterback at some point in this game, we think, but we don't know when. We've been told that it'll be August Black and Karis Foster starting as the men that will be behind the line, consisting of Chandler Liebarger at the center, Silas Richardson, Jason Threlkeld at the guards, Keegan Sherrill, Abel Mills at the tackle spots, and there will be extra linemen in this lineup as well to help block, as they are going to run wedge concepts in this offense, and we'll hear from Coach about what wedge concepts are, as we have a tandem backfield with August Black and Karis Foster and a couple of extra linemen right there to block. The center will snap it to one of the 2 running backs, and in this case it's Foster. Black will be the lead blocker. Karis Foster struggling out to the 25, a gain of just 2 yards. What does a wedge offense do? What are wedge concepts, Coach?
Well, basically, it's kind of you block down. Everybody just kind of goes shoulder to shoulder. The back gets the ball, and it's almost like a zone dive or whatever. The back just kind of reads what's going on. But, you know, I talked to PJ earlier, and that's what Fredericktown did several years ago when Kent Gibbs was there. You know, they'd pick up 3 or 4 or 5 yards in a cloud of dust. Central's got some good beef up front, so it's going to be interesting.
Black and Foster both with their hands ready, both barking out the signals. It's August Black this time, crosses the 25 to the 26, a modest gain for him. Let's meet the defense on our Capayas Heating and Cooling starting lineups. Ryan Lohman is the nose, 5'8", 200. If the low man wins, he wins a lot. He's 5'8", 200. Caden Hart and Landon Anisser are the defensive ends. You've got Jason Hrvojevic and Connor Hill as the middle linebackers. Rhett Womble and Baron Greer on the outside. Justice Lovelady, Devin Turnbow, the starting corners. Houston Neely and Jackson Miller are the starting safeties. Capayas Heating and Cooling, proudly serving St. Francis and surrounding counties, founded by Chuck Capayas and his wife, Chris, sons Chuck, Eric, and Brian, and daughter Amy in 2004. So we get to third down here, and that's where the quarterback comes in, Brody Pig. He's inserted into the game because the running backs don't throw well. Brody throws better, but he is spun down in the backfield and sacked, and it'll be a loss of 8 yards. And coming hard there from the outside linebacker position is Rhett Womble. He leads the team in sacks, and that's his 10th on the season. So Womble comes hard. He leads the team in tackles for loss, and now is tied for the lead in sacks with 10 of them. This coach to me stood out more than anything else when I was researching Dexter. They have 85 tackles for loss on the season. Now make it 86. That's an average of 12 a game. I'm not sure I've seen a number like that very often.
No, it's just, I mean, right, their opening series against Dexter, they certainly proved that they're going to be tough to move the ball against tonight. You know, looking at the sizes of the 2 lines, you know, they're both in the 230s average. I thought, well, this is going to be a big battle of the lines tonight, but Dexter's front pretty well whipped up on Central's that first offensive series. So turn around and see what Dexter can do here.
Chad, I'll tell you this. If Womble gets off the line, off the ball as quick as he did on that last one, no wonder he's got so many tackles for loss. He was almost in the backfield as the snap occurred. He was onside, but my goodness, he got there to blink.
He has a burst, 6 foot, 170-pound senior. Will Geatley will tell you about how to spell his name here in just a moment. Turnbow has it in the backfield. He's captured and dumped. Karis Foster, second on the scene back there. And the first man through is outside linebacker Chad Cosby. Coach alluded to some of Devin Turnbow's numbers. as we began the broadcast. Turnbow averaging 12.4 yards per carry. He gets nothing there. Our Capias Heating and Cooling starting lineups: Will Geatley, the quarterback; Devin Turnbow, usually a wing. He lined up in the eye right there with Hrvojevic in front of him. Langston Wernick is on the other wing. Huey's the center. Tristan Petzold, Jack Smith are the guards. Logan Reed, Walker, Gerald are the tackles. We'll meet the wide receivers as Turnbow floods the right side as he goes in motion. He can catch the ball as well. They'll put back Wernick to grab the ball out in the flat right here. Wernick gains 4 yards, and it's a positive gainer as Geatley put the ball right on him there in the flats. Starting wide receivers: Carson Hurt is the tight end. Noah Tinnen will be a wideout along with Houston Neely. Pretty good numbers for Geatley. How about this? Geatley is spelled G-U-E-T-H-L-E. That means Geatley. Not sure how you get Geatley out of that, but Coach looked right at his name and said, I know that's Geatley.
Yeah. Now, we've got some Geatleys from St. Genevieve, and you learn how to pronounce their names. And I knew right away how to pronounce that one. It was Hrvojevic or whatever, but I had a little trouble.
Hrvojevic, there you go.
Okay. You got me straight, Chad.
A little bit slow to get up Langston Wernick right there. That was why the timeout was taken. But Wernick is able to get off the field under his own power. Wernick is a great talent as well. Leads the team in catches, in receiving yards, in receiving TDs, and he averages 21.4 yards every time he catches the ball. So he's certainly another weapon in this arsenal for the Dexter Bearcats. A third down for Dexter, so a 3rd and 6. You call it a long 6 or a short 7 if you like. 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in our first quarter. Central has had a possession. They went 3 and out. Geatley's back in the gun right here. He's looking downfield, down the middle of the field. He completes it just enough for first down yardage and does so to his tight end, Carson Hurt, as they gain 8 yards. Pretty good ball by Geatley right there.
Good ball by Geatley. Good catch by looked like a tight end. Not real nice catch for that first down.
Silas Richardson is the starting nose guard. Keegan Sherrill, Wesley Williams are the ends. You've got Max Woods and Brody Diaz starting middle linebackers with Cosby and Rodney Greenwald on the outside. August Black, Nick Fowler the corners. Brady Schweiss and Karis Foster are the safeties. Kory Schweiss really loves his secondary. Here's a give to the fullback now. That's Jason Hrvojevic. Hrvojevic is a tough, strong dude, and he kind of spins and plows his way for 4 yards. 5'10", 210.
He got about 3 or 4 extra after first contact there. I thought he was down, and next thing you knew, there was a big surge for about 3 or 4 more yards.
Not bad for a fullback, Coach, to average 7.3 yards per carry.
No.
Hrvojevic with good numbers, 79 carries. That actually leads the team. He leads them in carries with 79, 574 yards coming into the ball game. So a 4-yard pickup there, and a 2nd and 6 here for Dexter. They give it to Turnbow. He's their home run hitter, and Central has this dude scouted out. I'm telling you, red shirt after red shirt, and it's a loss of a yard for Turnbow. Turnbow didn't do a whole lot last year in this matchup. He was okay. He was fine. 8 carries and 85 yards, but didn't kill him. He lost a yard right there, so Turnbow with 2 carries and a -1. This was a matchup that Dexter did win last year, 35-12.
It almost looked like about 3 or 4 of the kids from Central jumped out in the field, all the red shirts they were in on that tackle.
So Geatley maybe in a passing position here. He completes 63% of his balls. We've seen him throw 2 good balls so far. This one wasn't because he had Hrvojevic open for a touchdown, Coach, and he just missed him.
He had about 3 or 4 steps on everybody and just right off his fingertips. That would have been 6 for sure if they would have been able to hook up there.
Mike had the field level look at that, and Mike looked like a blown coverage right there. Hrvojevic running unmolested down the middle of the field there.
Sometimes you got to be lucky instead of good. They were that time because that was a wide open touchdown if they hit on that. And the Central coaching staff was all over it. From the minute the ball was snapped, they knew that they were in trouble. They got fortunate. But, guys, as far as the job they're doing on Turnbow, I think of it this way. Yeah, you want to key on him, but you still have to win that one-on-one battle with the blocks and get off those blocks. And they've been doing that when Turnbow's had the ball in the carry.
Good call, Mike. Offsides by Central.
Okay.
Medler was out to kick it away, but, Coach, you change a 4th and 7 into a 4th and 4 on Central's side of the field, and the offense now is back out for Dexter.
They ran the punt team off, brought the offense back on. It's very doable 4th down.
Some penalties don't hurt you a lot.
Oh, no.
One like that could be game-changing.
Yes, very much so.
So Dexter winds up in their double tight set here with Hrvojevic as the fullback. Turnbow the motion man, and Central jumps again. Off the left side, it's Chad Cosby bolting across. And it goes from a 4th and 7 to a 4th and 4 or 3 or 2 to a first down now.
That's an easy way to get them.
Boy, isn't it ever? I couldn't even tell if that was a hard count either.
Oh, those are frustrating.
It looked like the jump came off the motion, didn't it?
Yes, yeah. I tell you, hold them, force them in a punting situation, then give them 5, and then they're going to go for it, and then you give them first down. That's frustrating.
You have an offense that averages 48 points a game, and you had them off the field. Geatley has the snap go high to him. He wades into some traffic as he approaches the line of scrimmage, and Max Woods finishes him off. Geatley did a good job just to get 2 yards there. Boy, did we ever see some problems with deep snapping last week at Windsor. And I'll tell you what, I went to practice this week for Central. Young man asked me who I was and what I was doing. It ended up being Brady Wells. He said, "I'm the deep snapper. Shout me out on Friday night, would you?" With all the trouble we saw last week from Windsor, we'll definitely shout out somebody that does a good job. Geatley back to pass, looking at a deep out route and fires it over the outstretched hands of his intended wide receiver out there. That was Justice Lovelady. Well, he threw a couple of good balls early, but he's missed a couple of open guys here lately.
Guys, that's a member of the chain gang across the way that just took that hit. That's why the players going back to the huddle and the medical staff headed across the way.
So we've had a player come up a little bit slow, and now an official just a little bit slow. And everybody heads over to the sideline. So we hope the best over there for the chain gang. And let's take a quick timeout now. No score as of yet. 6:15 remaining in the first. We're back after this on Parkland Sports Live.
Why do so many people like working at the Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center?
The pay is awesome. What we do for our clients is awesome. The coworkers that we have, the staff, everybody is just, they're all welcoming.
I feel very supported. It's a great network of people that we have working here. We really work together, I think, to try to improve the lives of those that we serve.
The insurance is phenomenal. The cost is minimal. They're good to us. And the benefits are so great, you can't beat it.
Apply today.
When comfort matters, count on Capayas Heating and Cooling. Proudly serving St. Francis and surrounding counties, they are your local Bryant Factory authorized dealer, delivering top quality heating and cooling solutions for your home or business. Founded in 2004 by Chuck Capayas, a family-owned and operated company that you can trust. Visit capayasheatingandcooling.com today. Capayas Heating and Cooling in Farmington, 756-1224.
A pause in the action here at Park Hills as an intended wide receiver and defensive back running in with a chain gang member over there, and so they're getting that person who's helping out the help that they need. 6:15 remaining in our first quarter of play. Central's first offensive possession didn't go anywhere. The defense coach looked tough for Central on that first series by Dexter, but a couple of back-to-back fourth down penalties granted the Bearcats not only a first down, but also entry into Central's side of the field.
Yeah, good defense, bad discipline. Central's playing very good defense so far. I mean, they're really swarming to the ball, and that last play over there where the chain gang member was injured there, their D-back was right on the play, and so far, good matchup.
Let's take a look at some of the other matchups around our area tonight. You've got Potosi at 3-4 at DeSoto, who's 4-3. Tip of the cap to DeSoto, a winner over Hillsboro last week. Farmington is at Festus tonight. And that matchup, folks, is Farmington ranked 8th in Class 5, Festus ranked 4th in Class 4, and with 6:50 remaining in the first quarter, Farmington leads there 7-0. So that'll be a fun one. That'll be a good one.
That'll be a real good game.
Both of those teams are first place in their respective districts right now. You've got Hillsborough against Chaminade tonight. Hillsborough 4-3, Chaminade 3-3. Perryville 5-2. Perryville's a tough club this year, folks. They're a Herculaneum, who's 4-3. Valley undefeated and ranked second in the state in Class 3 is hosting a 2-5 Bowling Green team. Windsor's at Fredericktown. Fredericktown looking for its first win. Windsor 3-4. And then Coach Jefferson at St. Genevieve. Your old Dragons look pretty good. They're ranked 10th in the state this week, and they've had a good start to their ball game too.
Yeah, they're leading 7-0 with, I believe, 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Their AD there at St. Gen, one of my former assistants, Jeff Nix, just texted me to score. I asked him before the game to keep me up to date what's going on over there, and so they're doing well again tonight. They'll have a toughie next week. I believe they've got to go down to Crothersville.
If the chain gang member was able to get his own power, okay, they've taken him off, but they didn't have to load him up, and a real nice gesture from the Dexter player, Justice Lady, who was involved. He gave a high five to the guy, put his arm around him, wanted to make sure he was okay, and then back to his team. But it looks a lot better than it might have looked for a moment. In fact, he was able to get up on his own power, jump into that cart himself, and ride off instead of having to be helped onto the cart. So better news than it could have been, certainly.
Good deal.
Well, good.
And no wonder these two teams have mutual respect for one another with a action like that's a good deal. Geatley hands it off to Hrvojevic. Hrvojevic trying to slam his way to a first down. He keeps on plowing. He's running over everybody in Park Hills and gets inside of the 30 all the way down to the 27-yard line. What a run for Hannah. Gave him 15 yards, and he broke about 65 tackles on the way.
66, I think it was.
My
Gene
goodness.
Christmas. Central's D tackle had him wrapped, had his arms wrapped around him for a no gainer, and he broke free. What a bull.
Look at that run. My goodness. He looked like Scattaboo on that run.
Yes, he did.
1st and 10 for Dexter after that huge run by Hrvojevic. Hrvojevic, the fullback. They'll stay with him. He breaks through between the guards this time, but nose tackle Silas Richardson caught the first piece of him right there. So Silas does a nice job. And then Rodney Greenwalt finishes him up. Hrvojevic, though, still plunges forward for a 4-yard gain.
You know, he's got some pretty decent wheels on him. I saw some clips on him this week, and if he gets out in the open, he's tough to catch.
Last year was not a huge factor in the ball game. Ran it just one time for 4 yards, but he is really a guy they count on this year. Hrvojevic, he's packed tight at 5'10", 210 pounds. He's a senior. Wide receiver to the right side, Justice Lovelady. You've got a lead blocker and then Turnbow in the backfield. Turnbow cuts to the outside, dips it back to the inside. He's slamming his way forward, and he has first down yardage this time on a gain of 8 yards. You know, you kind of look at Turnbow and where he plays and what he does, and you kind of think of him as a speedster. But at 190 pounds, Coach, he is also a big, strong back.
A big speedster.
That can run well and cut.
He made a nice cut there. They tried to run a little inside isolation play, and it was clogged up there. Central did a good job of clogging the point of attack. He just bounced it outside and picked up about 8.
One wide to the right side, Lovelady. One wide to the left. That's Jackson Miller. Geatley back in that pistol. He's got Turnbow in the backfield with him. Quick pitch to Turnbow. They turn him inside. Turnbow didn't look like he had a very big seam to run through, but he manages to work his way inside where the holes are. Rodney Greenwald hauls him down, but not before he gains 6 yards. Central did a nice job closing off the corner, Coach, but the line kept with it, and Turnbow read the blocks.
After it, read the blocks, and after first contact, he made 2 or 3 yards again. I tell you, Central's going to have to tackle these backs low if they want to stop them, because of, trying to tackle them high, they're just not getting the job done.
Turnbow in motion. Hrvojevic gets the carry this time. Hrvojevic all the way down to the 6-yard line, and he is near first down yardage, and they are going to move the sticks. So a gain of 6 for Hrvojevic, and it's a pretty nice combination right now of the line blowing some holes, and if you can get Hrvojevic to top speed by the time he's to your linebackers, he's going to get forward.
Yes.
So first and goal from the 7.
If you don't tackle him low, he's going to get 5 on his own.
3.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Dexter pushing in as you watch it. From our right to our left side, Turnbow in motion. Geatley fumbled the snap, and then a late flag, I think. down on the field. I thought I saw one, perhaps not. Geatley just falls on it, and it'll be a loss of 3 yards for Dexter. Dexter's just kind of stayed with it. They haven't had any big plays in terms of yardage, a 15-yarder, but they have had a monster run by Hrvojevic, who carried the entire Rebel outfit with him.
They're just keeping with what's working for them right now. That's give it to the big boys and let the line do the job and pick up 6, 7, or 8 at a shot.
Second and goal from the 10 for Dexter. 2 wides to the left side. Turnbow behind the quarterback here. They pitch to Turnbow. He's to the 10, gets to the 5, leans forward. They haul him down at the 3-yard line, a gain of 7. Max Woods grabbed him by the waist.
Number 40, Max Woods.
22 yards rushing for Turnbow. You've got 29 yards rushing for Hrvojevic, and a couple of passes complete on the drive as well. Hrvojevic was wide open in the middle for a wide open touchdown pass early in the possession. Geatley just missed him. 2 minutes and 14 seconds and counting down here in this first quarter. Kory Schweiss told me this game was going to go fast. It is so far.
Yeah, you keep the ball on the ground without throwing a lot, it's going to go fast.
Hrvojevic in front of Turnbow. They give us to Turnbow. He attacks the middle. He breaks one tackle. He dives for the end zone. Did he get there? The officials say no, and the ball on the ground. Central football. So Turnbow got all the way to the 1-yard line and put it on the deck, and what a stop by this Central defense.
I couldn't tell if somebody hit the ball, knocked it loose or what, but Dexter's back was fighting, trying to get the pay dirt, and anyhow, somebody obviously got their hand in there, the ball come loose, and they recovered it in the end zone for a touchback. You know, it's a game of ifs right now. They went 65 yards for an almost score. Central held them on their opening possession there and made some mistakes, give them a little momentum, and Dexter just kind of took over running the ball and came up empty.
Here's August Black, and he just falls forward for a yard. Mike, we'll ask what you saw down there, but I saw Greenwald punch it loose.
Yeah, and it was the extra effort actually works against you. Guys, that happens when you run the ball sometimes. All that extra push, and they're great at it, and it's gained them multiple extra yards. But the danger with that is the long.
Yeah, it was a good, tough run by Turnbow, and you'll never fault a kid for trying hard. And here's Karis Foster now. Foster spun around, but manages to keep his feet. He breaks across the 25 to the 27-yard line, a gain of 6 for Karis Foster on his first carry. And Central now on schedule. Coach, they had a 3rd and 10 on their first possession. They want to stay away from that. A 3rd and 3 or 4 they can manage.
3rd and 3 for Central.
So August Black, Karis Foster, the tandem backs in the backfield.
They're stayed in. I don't see Brody Pig in there.
Both Black and Foster calling out the play. Black gets the carry. He crosses the 30, and it's a first down for Central. Needed 3, and he got 4. Good old-fashioned power football.
Nickel and diamond.
50 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and no score as of yet. Central averages just under 26 points a game. You've got Dexter averaging 48 points a game. We've got donuts on the scoreboard right now. And probably the final play of the first quarter right here. Black and Foster, both in the backfield. Karis Foster gets it, has a little seam, cuts to the outside. Karis jukes a man. He's to the 40, down to the 44-yard line, and a gain of 12, and another first down for Karis Foster.
Foster does a good job of bouncing to the outside. Had a few hand tackles, arm tackles that he broke, and he did a heck of a job.
Coach, we talked about it. A defense is going to load the box against this offense. However, you break the initial line of scrimmage when they load the box.
You're
Some
gone.
good things can happen
If you got
for you.
wheels, you're going to be going. You know, you look at Central's offensive line splits. They're almost shoe to shoe right now, and it looks almost like I don't know what you call it, a little league football team or something lining up shoe to shoe like that.
3 yards for Black right there. And that's how they run those splits with that wedge offense. 12 seconds remaining here in the first quarter of play. And Central doubtful will get off another one. Mike, your first impressions of what you've seen here in the first quarter?
The 0-0, that's partially because of the turnovers in the
That's the end of the first quarter.
is what allowed Dexter that opportunity to keep that drive alive and nearly.
All right, let's step aside as we head to the second frame. No score here in Park Hills. Dexter and Central once again. We're back after this on Parkland Sports Live. Thanks so much for joining us on Parkland Sports Live. We're at the end of the one and no score as of yet. At the end of our next quarter at halftime, we'll have our Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center halftime show. Tomorrow on the Parkland podcast, a talk with Kyle Richardson. He won a Super Bowl.
Yes.
With the Baltimore Ravens.
Heck of a punter.
Yeah, a great punter. And you say, oh, he won a Super Bowl, he was a punter. On that Ravens team, when they didn't have much offense and they won with defense, the punter was very important to that attack.
Yeah, see, Kyle was a very good punter in high school and the collegiate level, and, of course, he did very well on a professional level.
So check out the Parkland podcast tomorrow with Mark Tody and Jason Lowry. Central taking a look at a 2nd and 7. It's Karis Foster in the backfield, nearly lost the ball. He had it pop straight up in midair. He caught it and clutched it out of midair, then spun through two would-be tacklers and gained a couple of yards. He's living on the edge. A 3rd and 5.
Well, Dexter's done a good job of flying to the ball as well. I mean, both defenses have played very well so far. Of course, Dexter's offense, their running backs have kind of been the highlight of the first quarter so far, the job that they've gotten done, but both defenses playing pretty good.
Foster and Black in the backfield, one wide receiver wide to the left side. That's Nick Fowler. Foster goes in motion. Black bluffs the pass to him. Then Black spun in the backfield, keeps his feet, runs to the left side, looking for another block, gets nearly back to the line of scrimmage after all that. It'll be a loss of 2. Dexter knifing into the backfield. What a strange existence, Coach, for Brody Pigg. He waits on the sideline in anticipation of a 3rd and long. That's his job as the quarterback.
It's, it's almost to the point where we're going to throw the ball. He ought to have a sign on his jersey. But, the way Kory runs things, if they put him out there, sooner or later they're going to run the ball with him too. They can't just put him out there when they want to throw it. Dexter will back off into a big secondary.
Nick Fowler punts it away. Turnbow back to receive. Ball goes dead at the 10. And here's our nod to Brady Wells, the deep snapper. Well done, young man. We will not discount the efforts of the deep snappers.
No, he did well last week when Windsor was having trouble. He was pretty well right on the money in that any time that Central had to snap. Although I don't remember, did Central even punt last week? If they did, it wasn't much. But he did a good job in the PATs.
Well, Dexter did everything you could do without scoring points last possession. They fumbled it inside of the 1-yard line into the end zone. Now, Central's defense helped him out a little bit. They forced him into a punting situation and then came up with 2 offsides penalties. Here's another chance now for Dexter. Bearcats are led by Will Geatley. Hrvojevic, the fullback, he was sure impressive in that first drive.
Very much so. Here as a coach, you tell your kids, be patient. Look what we did. We just had a boo-boo, and just be patient, guys. We'll get there. And
Geatley runs the quarterback keep this time and shoves it up ahead for 9 yards. I like the play call, and I like the play design right there, Coach, because you got a couple of great running backs in Hrvojevic and Turnbow, both just blasting to the left side. Well, the defense is going to go with them, and instead Geatley just takes it up the middle there.
Yeah. Misdirection plays. That's when your defense has to carry out their assignments. 2nd
and a yard. You kind of think this is where Hrvojevic might come into play, and indeed they do hand it to him. However, a whistle blows the play dead, and it looks to be a false start against the Bearcats. And indeed it is.
That it is.
So the first penalty against the Bearcats there. Bearcats 7-0 on the season. They've not really played anything close. They beat Malden, Sikeston, New Madrid, East Prairie, Southern Boone, Kelly, and Kennett. And their margin of victory is 36 points. So they've been putting teams away. Their margin of victory is the power clock margin, essentially.
Yes.
10 minutes and 15 seconds and counting it down here in our second quarter. No score as of yet in this one. Central managed to come up with a huge play. Rodney Greenwald punched the ball loose inside of the 1 yard line as Turnbow looked like he was maybe going to score. And Central gets a tackle for loss right here. And look who it is again, Rodney Greenwald, as they bring Justice Lovelady over on a jet sweep. Well, Rodney Greenwald is putting together some good tape right now.
He, like I said, he got through there, stayed good and low, made a heck of a good tackle.
Timeout taken by Dexter. And let's go ahead and take one with him. No score as of yet. We're at the 9:50 mark of the second quarter. We're back to Park Hill Central after this on Parkland Sports Live.
Be 3rd and 10 for
Well, Mike,
Dexter.
you've been down on the field there. We saw Greenwald punch it loose to prevent that touchdown, and then he just had a big tackle for loss. He's coming off that edge strong for Central as quarterback Geatley drops back, looks in the middle of the field against that zone defense, completes it to Lovelady. Central captures him, but not before they get a first down on a gain of 15 yards.
Well, guys, honestly, both defenses are doing a lot of good things. Central had the bend but don't break philosophy earlier, but I like some of the individual efforts that we're seeing on both sides. Again, the 0-0 score will surprise a ton of people given what we know about the offenses. Guys, a bit of good news. The chain gang member who got hurt earlier came back on the field in that cart, and they dropped him off. I haven't seen if he's picked up the sticks again, but he's back over on the sideline.
He might be the Willis Reed of the chain gang before we're all said and done here. Good to hear. Central's defense gets tough right there as Geatley runs that keeper again. Last time he ran it, it was good for 9 yards. This time they hold him just to a yard gain. Geatley with 4 carries and 12 yards rushing. I've been impressed with Central's defense. I know that the Bearcats drove the length of the field on them, but Central made them drive the length of the field. They didn't give up one of those big ones.
No, it's just Dexter's a good offensive team. They had a couple of big plays, but yet Central's been coming up with some big defensive plays on their own.
Hrvojevic gets the quick pitch. You don't see a pitch to a fullback that often. Hrvojevic tracked down at the midfield stripe on a gain of 15 yards. And, Coach, something that you said just a moment ago, that big boy can run.
Yes. Both their backs have got some wheels. Just the way things are going, if it keeps up like this, you give him enough shots, he's going to break one.
Hrvojevic with 44 yards so far on 5 carries. Our clock at 8:42. No score here in the second quarter. It's Dexter and Central. They played a lot of good games over the past 14 years. Turnbow gets it, trying to wiggle to the outside, breaks 3 tackles, and now he's loose. Turnbow down the left sideline, to the 20, to the 10, to the end zone. Touchdown, Devin Turnbow from 48 yards out. His 13th rushing touchdown of the year, and he did it by breaking 3 tackles, juking a couple of guys, and then he was gone.
They had him stopped over there in the corner. He did a little spin move, broke free, and turned it on, and right there he goes. And like we just talked about, sooner or later, you give them enough chances, they're going to break one like that, and lo and behold, that's what happened.
We knew the big playability.
You got to keep them hemmed in.
Certainly. Jackson Medler on for the extra point. The snap is there. The hold is down. Medler sends the kick up and through. A 7-0 lead for Dexter, 8:28. Remaining here in our first half, we're back with your kickoff after this on Parkland Sports Live.
Looking for top quality custom sportswear and activewear? Look no further than Nouveau Athletic. Nouveau Athletic blends innovative design with affordability, revolutionizing activewear for athletes, teams, and enthusiasts alike. From affordable, high-quality team practice wear to specialty sublimated activewear, Nuvo Athletic has grown to become a leader in sportswear and the industry, especially in cheer. Nuvo Athletic, where passion meets quality in every stitch.
For Nuvo Athletic custom apparel locally, contact Tia Cunningham at 573-701-6015.
A 7-0 lead for the Dexter Bearcats here at Central, and a score update. Farmington was up 14-0 at Festus. Festus now has punched one in. They've come to the end of the first quarter, and it's a 14-7 lead for Farmington. We'll hear about that drive from Coach and get a field report from Mike after the kickoff. Deep ball bounces at the goal line. Karis Foster gets it on the third hop. He jukes two guys, heads to his right, and got a little bit of not much of at all. Tell us about that touchdown drive, Coach.
Well, Dexter's opening drive, they went several plays to come up empty and went fumble in the end zone. They took this one. They had a few short gains. I think they went 5 plays for, about 85, 90 yards, I guess it was. Some big chunks there, ending with the 48-yard run there to put them up 7-0 with the extra point.
Well, Mike, you were at that field level. Looked like they had Turnbow hemmed in right there, but he managed to elude about 4 tacklers, and that dude showed some speed.
I started to say, guys, we could talk about it, eluding tacklers and breaking tackles, and believe me, that's all important. But what I saw when it was all said and done was nobody to cut him off going down the sideline. And some people, there were a couple of defenders that had that angle. Chad, you and I talked about this once, the ability to outrun angles.
Yeah.
He outran an angle a couple of times there to get into the end zone.
Here's August Black. He heads just right toward the middle of the defense, gets nowhere, no gain on the play. Yeah, I like to call that breaking geometry, Mike, because usually the math works out when you take a good angle. Sometimes you encounter some dudes that just break that geometry. And it's interesting how Coach Jamerson told me about the speed of his guys, and I asked Coach Stolzer that when I got here today. I said, Coach, have you ever heard of a flying 40? That was something new even to you after 40 years of coaching, huh,
Well,
Coach?
I knew what they were talking about, but we've never done that. I mean, you give them a count and hit the go button on the stopwatch when they take off and stop it when they cross the line, but a flying start, now that's kind of giving them a little bit of a nice time, so to speak.
Good game by August Black right there. He lost a couple, and now he picks them back up, so 15 yards rushing for him. Coach explained it to me. He said they give them 2 steps, and then they start the clock over the next 40 yards. So it does certainly improve your time, and that flying 40, he runs about a 4.5 flying 40. So,
but here's what I want to know, Chad, and I'd love to see these numbers. What are the numbers on the flying 40 compared to the traditional 40? I would really like to see how different they are.
Yeah, that's a good question. Brody Pigg is in the ball game. He throws an out route intended for Karis Foster, and that one goes incomplete.
Well, based on that 48-yard run, Mike, I'd say he's going to run. If he had a 4.5 with a flying start, he's probably going to run a 4.7 from a dead start. He turned on the afterburners on that run.
Pretty fast guy. How tough is it, Coach, do you think, for Brody Pigg to come in on random third downs like that without kind of being in the flow of the game?
Well, it's, if they know he's going to pass, they're going to back off. But like I said, if they're going to put him in there, probably ought to do a few runs with him to make Central play him honest.
Nick Fowler.
Or make Dexter play him honest.
Yeah, make Dexter. Fowler boots it away for Central. And Dexter will have very good field position, starting just inside of the 47-yard line of the Rebels. 6:49 remaining here in our second quarter. And as many points as Dexter scores, well, their defense perhaps even more impressive. They are allowing only 12.3 yards per game, and they've not allowed Central so far to get close to the goal line.
Their defensive line or defensive front is really shutting Central down so far.
Geatley leads the troops back out. Bearcats working from the 46-yard line of Central. Hrvojevic, the big, strong fullback, is met by a phalanx of Rebel tacklers and goes down for a 1-yard loss. Coming up at the half, Arcapias Heating and Cooling. Starting lineups there. At the beginning, at the halftime show, Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center. Halftime show will have your stats, break it down, take a look at the second half coming up after that, and we'll bring you the latest scores as well. Latest score we got from Festus. Farmington leading Festus 14-7, and now a Central Rebel down on the field. Central lost a very, very good player in Dakota Bowers a few games ago with an ACL injury. 18 down on the field. That's Chad Cosby, and that's, well, you never want to lose anybody, certainly, but with Dakota Bowers already out, Chad Cosby would be another big loss for this team, another terrific performer for Central. He leads Central in tackles for loss on the year with 10. He's racked up 62 tackles this year coming into the ball game, so Cosby has really done a nice job for this team. 6:34 remaining in our first half, and a 7-0 lead for Dexter. The difference in this ball game is a 48-yard touchdown run by the sensational running back Devin Turnbow. He bolted down the left side of the field after defending several would-be tacklers. And Cosby just putting weight just on that right foot as he's helped off the field by a trainer and head coach Kory Schweiss.
It doesn't look like he's going to be back in anytime soon. It's really favoring his right leg, not putting any weight on his left.
He is.
Looks like it might be his knee.
So a substitute coming in for him, Kane Husky, into the ball game for Central. 2nd and 11 for Dexter, and the pass is picked off by August Black. It went in and out of the hands of the intended target, Devin Turnbow. He couldn't corral it, and Black, with some sure hands, picks it off for the Rebels. 2 turnovers by Dexter in this ball game, both on sensational Rebel plays.
I don't know if it was a pass or it was a fumble. Their line took off like they were going to run a counter to the left side. No, it was a pass.
In and out of the hands of Turnbow, and what a difficult catch for August Black. What great concentration for him. The box just loaded with extra blockers. Karis Foster had a little seam for a moment and manages 3 yards. Max Woods, the tight end, he actually lines up behind the guard, Coach. You're talking about every player within just a few yards of the ball.
It's just almost like a rugby scrum or something.
So a 2nd and a short 7, long 6, whichever. Foster and Black in the backfield, the tandem running backs. This will be Black attacking the middle, gets a good surge from the offensive line, and falls forward across the 35 to the 34-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8 for August Black. To me, it kind of felt as if Dexter was kind of taking control of this game.
Oh, yeah.
But if Central gets a couple more of these runs, we could have a tie game pretty quick.
Exactly. Before halftime here, they got plenty of time before half.
5:35 remaining.
Guys, what's the wild card in every football game you've ever been to that you cannot predict? You don't know where it'll go. It's the turnover game. And that can change so much every game.
You got that right, Mike. Snap goes to Black. And Black is just met right at that line. Just a stone wall set up for him right there. But on the second effort from his lineman, he hit up the gut once again and pushes forward for 4 yards.
Central's just kind of down blocking right now, just creating a push down and letting their backs get what they can off of it. And if you can get 4 or 5 at a whack like that, hey, go for it.
If you can avoid mistakes, that'll win a ball game for you right there.
Hang on to the ball.
Just blockers everywhere for Central. They just have extra blockers all over the place. The extra blocker on that line is Max Worship down in there. And here's Black once again, goes off tackle and nearly had a seam. He's got a first down and more and a gain of 6 this time. And against a team, Coach, that is so explosive like Dexter, Kory Schweiss and company say we can melt the clock. That's to our advantage.
Keep the ball away from them.
So Central melting clock and gaining yards, and we're at the 3:54 mark here of the second quarter of play. And the Rebels certainly beneficiaries of a couple of turnovers from Dexter, but they are turnovers that they have helped to cause. A punch out on a fumble inside of the 1 yard line would have been a touchdown, and then an interception off of a deflection on a great play by August Black. Black shoves it forward, gains a couple more. Ball ripped at by Connor Hill, trying to dislodge it from Black, but Black does a nice job holding on before he falls down for a 2 yard gain.
You don't see many games like this anymore. It's just brute strength against brute strength. I mean, their lines, both lines, offensive line getting off the ball, defense attacking them, and the backs getting what they can. And, you know, both teams have real good running backs. It's just a physical ball game. There's going to be some sore bodies tomorrow.
Yeah, it's almost a stalemate. Central averages 236 along their offensive line, a 232 average across the defensive front for Dexter. August Black takes this one outside of the left tackle, and normally you wouldn't call that much of a wrinkle, but in this game it is.
Yes.
Gain of 4 for August Black, 15 carries already for August Black. He's got 45 yards rushing. Clock down to 2:30 now.
Dexter's doing a good job of containing things on the outside as well as stuffing things up in the inside.
Brody Pigg back in the ball game, the quarterback, on a 3rd and 6. And he'll hand it off to August Black this time. Black plunges behind his left guard, and he is stopped by a stern hit by Hrvojevic. Gain of just a yard for August Black.
And I think they've got a face mask on that play as it developed right at the very end.
Well, and that helps the cause, doesn't it? Just a little chunk here and a little chunk there.
Plus a big first down for Central.
So that, and just, it's one of those 5-yarders. So is that looking like a 4th and 1, Mike?
4th and real short.
Right. A 3rd and 1, I beg your pardon, because they'll get the down over.
Hey guys, it's less than half a yard.
Yeah, and now you don't have to pass the ball either. I mean, that play certainly plays into Central. Line of scrimmage is the 14-yard line of Dexter, and Central, I'm telling you guys, they are going to take this clock maybe all the way to halftime. We're at the 2-minute mark.
3rd and 1 for Central.
So Central looking at only a 3rd and 1 here from the Dexter 14-yard line.
You got plenty of time on the play clock.
Nick Fowler in the backfield along with Karis Foster this time. No August Black. Here's Nick Fowler through the guards. He's down inside of the 10. He's down inside of the 5. He's pushing toward the end zone, nearing it, and they haul him down at the 1-yard line. The first run for Fowler, and Fowler pushes it down the field for 14 yards, setting up a 1st and goal. And now Central will run it quick. They're trying to shove it into the end zone. It's the old tush push at the high school level this time. The officials signal late, but they signal right, and it's a touchdown Central. And they're an extra point from tying this thing up. Karis Foster gets into the end zone for the 7th time this year on the ground. And Central, after it was only minutes ago, they looked like they were kind of starting to get outplayed, and we're going to maybe have a tie game here. The 1-yard touchdown for Karis Foster. Central looks to kick to tie it up with only a minute and 24 seconds remaining in this first half. This is Devin Graff for the extra point. Snap is there. The hold is down. Graff swings the right leg, and we got a tie game, folks. 7-7 with 1:24 remaining here in the first half. We'll tell you about that touchdown drive after this timeout on Parkland Sports Live.
21-6.
Farmington ties this football game. Coach, tell us about that touchdown drive that Central just put on.
Okay, well, they got that interception there on about their own 45 and took them 10 plays to get her down to the side of the end zone, that 1-yard run. That big 14-yard run set that up inside the 5 and the 1-yard line, and they went no huddle or no nothing and pushed it in there. It was a heck of a scrum, but Central got it in, and with the extra point, we got a tie ball game, Chad.
And also importantly, took the clock down to 1:24. So we're tied at 7 with 1:24 remaining here in this first half. And the kickoff fielded by Jackson Miller, and Miller takes it down that right sideline. Well, that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Dexter.
Yes.
With only $1:20 remaining, you don't want to be starting at your own 20, and they won't. They'll start at the Central 35-yard line on not only a really nice run by Miller, but, Coach, that wall that Dexter set up on the sideline to give him that avenue was pretty impressive.
It was a heck of a run. He got a few missed tackles, and I think it was either the kicker or whoever Central puts back for safety ended up making a tackle. Touchdown saving tackle, as a matter of fact.
We'll hear from the coaches as they go off for halftime. Kory Schweiss, of course, for the Central Rebel. Chad Jamerson join us during our Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center halftime show. Oh, mercy. Central blew a coverage on that one, and the pass from Geatley was just short.
That's 2 of them. That would have been a touchdown there as well, Chad.
Noah Tinnen, his intended target. And you're right, Coach, he has had 2 guys really, wide open for touchdown looks.
Central's kind of lulled to sleep on their running game, and all of a sudden they up and throw, and their wideout ran right by their D-back out there.
So Tinnen, the wideout to the left side. They'll run motion to the left side, and then pass complete to Tinnen on the curl route here. He's got a first down and more on a gain of 13.
Almost looked like they were trying to set up a little trick play, a little hook and trail there. They threw it to the inside man, and they had a guy in motion ran out there. I think if he would have had time, he would have lateraled it to him because he was wide open. There wasn't anybody on him at all.
Is that part of what you think sucked that corner back up off the coverage? Is that motion to create that gap in there for the?
It's just hard to say. I've said a lot of times your defensive players, as many times as they're playing the run or coming up to help stop the run, and all of a sudden they up and pass the ball. It doesn't take but a step for somebody to get behind you.
Timeout on the field, and that'll give us a moment to thank our sponsors. We'd like to thank Booze and Bark Flooring and Trailer Sales, Hearing Care Partners, Everest Counseling, and Nouveau Athletic. We'd also like to tip our cap to our team, Jacob Towers, our engineer, but also our part-time researcher now that we know as well, giving us some great tips on our broadcast. And then Wyatt Colley doing a tremendous job getting our video tonight. We've run a couple of replays that Wyatt's just captured perfectly for us.
Yeah, it's quick injury update down here. Chad Cosby, who left the game earlier, has not left this spot on the bench since he came off the field. So the chances of him getting back look a little bit slim.
Thank you, Mike. 1st and 10. For Dexter, they're at the Central 22-yard line. And another timeout on the field. So this time, let's go ahead and step aside real quick, and we'll be back on the other side of this one, 7-7 with 58 seconds left here in Central.
Hi, I'm Dr. Karen Melton with Hearing Care Partners. Hearing loss doesn't just affect your ears, it impacts conversations, relationships, and daily life. Do you catch yourself nodding along but missing the words? Are you straining to hear in crowded spaces? Don't ignore these signs. If you notice them, come see us. At Hearing Care Partners, our expert team makes it easy to find personalized solutions. A simple test could change everything. Visit hearingcarepartners.com to book your free hearing evaluation today. At Hearing Care Partners, we listen so you can hear.
Well, we're tied at 7 here at Park Hills Central with 58 seconds left. Dexter and Central on Parkland Sports Live. Farmington and Festus, a game that a lot of folks are interested in tonight. Farmington leads in the first half 21-7 in that one. Farmington ranked 8th in Class 5. Festus ranked 4th in Class 4. Dexter Bearcats driving deep into Central territory. Here's a toss to the end zone to Turnbow. He goes and gets it. He high points it. However, he lands out of bounds. On the coverage right there was Nick Fowler, but My goodness.
Heck
What
of
a
a
tremendous
catch.
effort that
Man.
time by Turnbow. And here's a look at that play. They just run Turnbow on that out and up from his wingback position. And in fact, Central had the coverage, but Turnbow just beat everybody for the ball. He just happened to land out of bounds.
Just run a little wheel route. Your inside man did a post, and your outside man did a post. Your inside man did a little wheel route up the sideline. And
Geatley, the quarterback, back in the pocket. He's clean, and Hrvojevic just can't hold on. Kind of hit him on that back shoulder pad. That's a tough catch. And he couldn't haul it in. Talked about those ranked teams, Farmington and Festus. Well, the Dexter Bearcats are ranked 4th in Class 3, and they are at the top of Class 3 District 1. Central sits 3rd in this district ranking right now. Farmington continues its success, 28-7, with 3 minutes remaining in the second quarter. That game in Festus. Here's a 3rd and 10 for Dexter with 45 seconds left. One wide receiver wide to the right side, that's Tenen. Geatley back to pass. Looks on the flat route over the middle. Completes this ball. This is to Carson Hurt. And Carson Hurt, the big tight end, rumbles down inside of the 5-yard line. That's a gain of 18 yards. Boy, was that ever a clever play. The coverage dropped back, and they hit the underneath route. Hrvojevic, the fullback right here. Geatley gets the snap and immediately just throws it on the ground to try to stop the clock. I think a whistle stopped it, though, before it ever got started. Central calls the timeout, and that will save it down for the Bearcats.
About 28 seconds ago.
28 seconds remaining here in this first half, and we're tied at 7. Dexter got the ball back with 1:24 on the second quarter clock, but it was a big return by Dexter's Jackson Miller all the way down to the Central 35 that kind of put them in business in this drive. And Dexter's hurt themselves a couple times in this ball game with a pair of turnovers. They fumbled it inside of the 1-yard line. I say they fumbled it. More accurately stated is that Rodney Greenwald punched it out. Really a tremendous play from him. But then Turnbow, it was in and out of his hands on a pass. Geatley maybe perhaps threw it a little bit too hard, and August Black was right there to pick it off with tremendous concentration. That's what's kept Central around here and helped them forge a tie in the ball game right here. However, it's a 1st and goal from the 4-yard line here for a very good running Dexter Ball Club, a team that averages nearly 300 yards a game rushing. And they've got Hrvojevic and Turnbow in the backfield. Turnbow just tucks right behind his big fullback and slams his way in. It's a 4-yard touchdown run for Devin Turnbow. His last 2 carries have both been touchdowns. And the Dexter Bearcats break on top, 13-7, with 25 seconds remaining in the first half.
Well, it's tough to stop somebody with that much firepower offensively to where they're going to get 4 or 5 yards at a whack like that just about any time they want to. Central's been doing a good job, although tonight stopping them for a few yards than that. But
Medler on for the extra point here. The snap wobbles a bit, but gets back there. The snap hits the holder. He places it down, and Medler pokes it through. So 14-7. It's a 1-score game. 25 seconds remaining here in the first half. We're back with a kickoff on the other side of this timeout right here on Parkland Sports Live.
Life can feel like an uphill climb, but no one has to face it alone. Everest Counseling, based in Farmington, has been empowering individuals and families for over 20 years, offering support through life's toughest challenges. Specializing in at-risk youth and serving rural communities, the experienced and compassionate team provides the guidance and the tools necessary to thrive. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, trauma, family conflicts, or just need someone to talk to, Everest Counseling provides personalized services to meet your needs. Contact Everest Counseling today at 573-330-4452.
Here's a look at that touchdown, a 4-yard touchdown plunge by Devin Turnbow. And Turnbow just follows his big fullback who really kind of cleared the path for him. Jacob Huey, Tristan Petzold and company getting the job done there as well. Squib kick, and Central takes the Squib kick back to their own 35. But Central's not really built to go score here in 21 seconds with the pass game. They've been running a tandem 2 running back system in their backfield with a direct snap to either of their running backs, either August Black or Karis Foster. The Rebels have thrown the ball once. It was incomplete.
You know, Dexter came out there when they got the ball down 35-yard line pass in there. They had plenty of time to move the ball down, but I'm sure, you know, Dexter is coached well. They've got a 2-minute drill, and that involves them throwing the ball, and they came out and were able to get some yardage, set up that 1-yard run or 3-yard run.
Karis Foster's met in the backfield, and Hrvojevic just teed off on him to finish him off. A loss of a yard. 7 seconds and counting down. Could very well be the final play here of the first half. 14-7 is the score. Dexter leading it, and Mike Reeves going to catch up with Kory Schweiss as we go to the half to start off our Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center halftime show.
Guys, thank you so much. Defense forces a couple of turnovers. Special teams, though, gives up a long run that sets them up in space. I guess, again, a lot going on in that first half. What do you take out of it?
Well, the biggest thing is we lost Chad. He's a big part of what we're doing, both sides of the ball. So, and on special teams, you noticed it was his lane in the kickoff that ended up making the play too. So, that's a big one for us, but we'll have to go in and figure it out at halftime.
What did you think about defensively, your job against the run? I know they had the one big run, but for the most part, it looked like you kept them in check.
Yeah, I mean, we're there. We're in the right spots. They've got some good players. We missed some tackles because they're just really good players. But I think as far as us being in the right spots, we've been in the right spots all night.
See you afterward.
All right, thanks.
Guys, quick visit with Kory Schweiss there as his team trails 14-7 at the intermission. We'll catch up with him post-game as well.
All right, thanks so much, Mike. Our halftime score, 14-7, and Coach Schweiss expressing certainly his sympathy certainly for his very good linebacker Chad Cosby, who went down, and I know Coach Schweiss cares about his guys, so he feels more for Cosby, but it's certainly a big loss for the team as well. Coach Stolzer, it's a one-score game. It felt early on, not too early, but it felt like Dexter was going to kind of take control of this game, and then Central puts together their drive and they score it. We got a tie game, and then Dexter responds, but Central's kind of hanging around here against a good ball club.
I'll tell you, Central's played some pretty good football teams the last few weeks. I mean, ranked teams. They're playing Dexter, who's ranked. They played Valley last week, who's ranked. They played some good football teams, and obviously they've got a good football team of their own. And had a few bad breaks there. Initially, opening drive, they had Dexter held, forced them to punt, made a couple of miscues there, jumping off sides, and gave them a new set of downs, which they ended up taking down and scoring on. But it's been a pretty equal ball game right now. Had it not been for the big kickoff return there after Central scored, we might be knotted up 7-0 or 7-7 at halftime here.
Let's go back to something Mike Reeves hit upon at one point in the first half. This is a potential district matchup. If you're Central and you can play this team that's been a powerhouse all year, if you can play them tight, close, and tough, that's going to give you confidence if you can see them later on too.
Oh yeah, certainly. And like I've always said, it's tough to beat a team twice if they're, if all things are kind of equal, unless one's more dominant than the other. But right now, 14-7, there's really no dominancy. Both teams been doing some good things. Both teams made a few mistakes. So, all things being said, pretty equal ball game right now.
All right, thanks for joining us for our Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center halftime show. Southeast Missouri Mental Health, providing mental health services since 1903 in Farmington. Serving over 350 patients with over 1,000 employees. One of the largest employers in St. Francis County and growing. Find out how you can become part of their family by scheduling an interview today at dmh.mo.gov or give them a call, 573-218-6800. That's Southeast Missouri Mental Health, our halftime show sponsor here on Parkland Sports Live. We've got a good one going. It's 14-7. Dexter leads at the half as we step aside here at the break on Parkland Sports Live.
Why do so many people like working at the Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center?
The pay is awesome. What we do for our clients is awesome. The coworkers that we have, the staff, everybody is just, they're all welcoming.
I feel very supported. It's a great network of people that we have working here. We really work together, I think, to try to improve the lives of those that we serve.
The insurance is phenomenal. The cost is minimal. They're good to us. And the benefits are so great, you can't beat it.
Apply today.
When comfort matters, count on Capayas Heating and Cooling. Proudly serving St. Francis and surrounding counties, they are your local Bryant Factory authorized dealer, delivering top quality heating and cooling solutions for your home or business. Founded in 2004 by Chuck Capayas, a family-owned and operated company that you can trust. Visit capayasheatingandcooling.com today. Capayas Heating and Cooling in Farmington, 756-1224.
Looking for your next car, truck, van, or SUV? Point to Pettis. At Pettis Automotive, service, affordability, and selection are more than just words. They're the foundation of everything they do. You'll see the selection when you drive by any of their 3 locations. You'll feel the affordability when you talk to their experienced sales team. And you'll love the service every time you come in for maintenance. New or pre-owned, from Farmington to Fredericktown to DeSoto, point to Pettis. Visit pettisauto.com. Point to Pettis.
Do you often ask others to repeat themselves? Is the TV volume creeping up higher? Hi, I'm Dr. Karen Melton, and it could be time to have your hearing checked. Hearing loss happens gradually, making it hard to notice. At Hearing Care Partners, we offer thorough hearing evaluations that uncover even subtle changes in your hearing over time. Early detection can improve your hearing and your life. Start prioritizing your hearing today. Schedule your appointment now at hearingcarepartners.com. At Hearing Care Partners, we listen so you can hear.
Since 1941, Busenbark Flooring has been Southeast Missouri's trusted name in flooring. This family-owned business features top-quality carpet, tile, and hardwood, along with countertops, kitchens, and bathrooms, all with expert installation. Need to haul it? Busenbark Trailer Sales has you covered. Come see the large selection of dump trailers, equipment haulers, goosenecks, livestock trailers, and more. Visit busenbarkflooring.com and busenbarktrailersales.com, or stop by and see everything at the Fairgrounds exit on Highway 67.
Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling has the equipment and know-how to get that job done right. They dig basements, ponds, lakes, roads, and clearings and haul in the rock. Check out Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling's commercial work at Domino's in Farmington and Fredericktown and Leadbelt Motorsports. Call Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling today at 701-3258. That's 701-3258. Looking for top quality custom sportswear and activewear? Look no further than Nouveau Athletic. Nouveau Athletic blends innovative design with affordability, revolutionizing activewear for athletes, teams, and enthusiasts alike. From affordable, high-quality team practice wear to specialty sublimated activewear, Nouveau Athletic has grown to become a leader in sportswear and the industry, especially in cheer. Nouveau Athletic, where passion meets quality in every stitch.
For Nouveau Athletic custom apparel locally, contact Tia Cunningham at 573-701-6015.
Life can feel like an uphill climb, but no one has to face it alone. Everest Counseling, based in Farmington, has been empowering individuals and families for over 20 years, offering support through life's toughest challenges. Specializing in at-risk youth and serving rural communities, the experienced and compassionate team provides the guidance and the tools necessary to thrive. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, trauma, family conflicts, or just need someone to talk to, Everest Counseling provides personalized services to meet your needs. Contact Everest Counseling today at 573-330-4452.
Why do so many people like working at the Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center?
The pay is awesome. What we do for our clients is awesome. The coworkers that we have, the staff, everybody is just, they're all welcoming.
I feel very supported. It's a great network of people that we have working here. We really work together, I think, to try to improve the lives of those that we serve.
The insurance is phenomenal. The cost is minimal. They're good to us. And the benefits are so great, you can't beat it.
Apply today.
Thanks for joining us for our Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center halftime show. It's a 14-7 lead. Dexter leads Central at the half. Let's run over the halftime numbers. And the numbers are really more lopsided than the scoreboard is. 188 for the Bearcats, only 72 total yards for the Rebels. And Coach, probably part of that, the 2 turnovers that Central was able to come up with. When you get a turnover inside of the 1 yard line, well, that means the other team is driven away.
Yes, they went about, I forget how many yards that was and how many plays, but they went a long ways to come up empty, but Central fortunately were able to turn them away from that. Stats a lot of times can tell the tale, but a lot of times are kind of misleading too. But here it's the score is 14-7, which seems a heck of a lot closer, and it's been a good ball game. But if you look at the stats, you're going to think probably Dexter's out 28-7, maybe something like that. But it just, both teams have had big breaks, both teams turnovers. I mean, it's going to be one of those games, or at the end of the night, that both coaches are going to be able to sit and say, game of ifs. If this would have happened, or if that wouldn't have happened, it's going to be an interesting second half here.
August Black, 46 yards rushing, but Karis Foster has the touchdown. He's got 20 yards on 5 tries. No passing yards for Central. Dexter Bearcats got 58 yards through the air. Carson Hurt caught a couple balls for 26 yards. 15-yarder for Justice Lovelady, and a 13-yarder for Noah Tennant. Bearcats are led in rushing by Devin Turnbow. He had a 48-yard touchdown. He's rushed for 77 yards on 8 carries, but Jason Hrvojevic, nice job as well, 43 yards on 6 carries. We'll look toward the second half of play, and we'll have that coming up for you here in just a little bit. Oh, we do have a few halftime scores to share, though. At half, Farmington leading Festus 28-14. How about Fredericktown? They're looking for their first win, and they lead Windsor 27-14. So the Black Cats may be going to get in the win column. We'll see.
It'd be nice to see Steve Wilson get his first win this year. I mean, Steve worked very hard down there with those kids, and
Steve Williams, what a great guy down there. And your old Dragons are doing pretty well tonight,
too. They're leading 21-6 at halftime. A homecoming night for them against Jefferson R7, and be another big win for the Dragons.
Coming up a little bit later on our Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center halftime show, Mike Reeves will be down on the field, and he'll get the thoughts of the head coach for the Dexter Bearcats, Chad Jamerson. We have that all ahead as we step aside once again from Central High School in Park Hills. Our halftime score is Dexter 14 and Central 7.
Looking for top quality custom sportswear and activewear? Look no further than Nouveau Athletic. Nouveau Athletic blends innovative design with affordability, revolutionizing activewear for athletes, teams, and enthusiasts alike. From affordable, high-quality team practice wear to specialty sublimated activewear, Nouveau Athletic has grown to become a leader in sportswear and the industry, especially in cheer. Nouveau Athletic, where passion meets quality in every stitch.
For Nouveau Athletic custom apparel locally, contact Tia Cunningham at 573-701-6015.
Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling has the equipment and know-how to get that job done right. They dig basements, ponds, lakes, roads, and clearings and haul in the rock. Check out Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling's commercial work at Domino's in Farmington and Fredericktown and Leadbelt Motorsports. Call Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling today at 701-3258. That's 701-3258.
Since 1941, Busenbark Flooring has been Southeast Missouri's trusted name in flooring. This family-owned business features top-quality carpet, tile, and hardwood, along with countertops, kitchens, and bathrooms, all with expert installation. Need to haul it? Busenbark Trailer Sales has you covered. Come see the large selection of dump trailers, equipment haulers, goosenecks, livestock trailers, and more. Visit busenbarkflooring.com and busenbarktrailersales.com. Or stop by and see everything at the Fairgrounds exit on Highway 67.
Hi, I'm Dr. Karen Melton with Hearing Care Partners. Hearing loss doesn't just affect your ears, it impacts conversations, relationships, and daily life. Do you catch yourself nodding along but missing the words? Are you straining to hear in crowded spaces? Don't ignore these signs. If you notice them, come see us. At Hearing Care Partners, our expert team makes it easy to find personalized solutions. A simple test could change everything. Visit hearingcarepartners.com to book your free hearing evaluation today. At Hearing Care Partners, we listen so you can hear.
Life can feel like an uphill climb, but no one has to face it alone. Everest Counseling, based in Farmington, has been empowering individuals and families for over 20 years, offering support through life's toughest challenges. Specializing in at-risk youth and serving rural communities, the experienced and compassionate team provides the guidance and the tools necessary to thrive. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, trauma, family conflicts, or just need someone to talk to, Everest Counseling provides personalized services to meet your needs. Contact Everest Counseling today at 573-330-4452.
Why do so many people like working at the Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center?
The pay is awesome. What we do for our clients is awesome. The coworkers that we have, the staff, everybody is just, they're all welcoming.
I feel very supported. It's a great network of people that we have working here. We really work together, I think, to try to improve the lives of those that we serve.
The insurance is phenomenal. The cost is minimal. They're good to us. And the benefits are so great, you can't beat it.
Apply today.
When comfort matters, count on Capayas Heating and Cooling. Proudly serving St. Francis and surrounding counties, they are your local Bryant Factory authorized dealer, delivering top quality heating and cooling solutions for your home or business. Founded in 2004 by Chuck Capayas, a family-owned and operated company that you can trust. Visit capayasheatingandcooling.com today. Capayas Heating and Cooling in Farmington, 756-1224.
We appreciate you sticking around for our Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center halftime show. 14-7 here. Dexter leading Central. Chad Jamerson and troops coming back out along that Dexter sideline. Mike Reeves over there will get the thoughts of the head coach for those Bearcats coming up here in just a moment. Dexter will receive the second half kickoff. Central got the first half kickoff and were forced to go 3 and out in their lone drive, and then they managed to come up with the ball on Dexter's first drive as well. Dexter drove it all the way down to the 1 yard line on their first attempt, and tremendous play on the defense by Rodney Greenwald to poke the ball away from great running back Devin Turnbow inside of the 1 yard line. And let's hear from Coach Jamerson and Mike.
Couple of quick ones for you, Coach. You give it up a couple of times, but then you get a big special teams play. You come out of this thing, you are up by 7. What do you take out of it? There's been a lot to process.
Yeah, there is a lot to process. You know, Park Hills did a really good job of taking care of the football and controlling the clock in the first half and keeping the ball out of our hands. We didn't do ourselves any favor by coughing it up twice, so we got to come out, take care of the football, and continue to execute the way we can.
Generally happy with your running game. I know that they bottled you up at times, but you did get the big touchdown run.
Yeah, we had a couple big runs, but at the end of the day, we've got to explain to our guys that the inside is going to be pretty cloudy for those running lanes, and we've got to be patient and take what we can get. You know, 6 yards is great, but 3 is just as good right now.
Hope to talk to you afterward.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Guys, said to back up to the booth for the second half of this one and what really should be a good one. And I heard a lot of people down here that were talking about there may not be a lot of separation between these two teams. We'll see how that plays out.
Thanks so much, Mike. Well, I appreciate Coach Jamerson as he graciously gave some of his time this week to help in our preparation for the broadcast. Now, Chad Jamerson is a University of Missouri journalism graduate, and I wisely held on to the information that I am a University of Kansas journalism graduate until the end of our interview, and he told me at that point that the conversation would have been much, much shorter had he known that early on.
Yeah, and I remember that you're a Kansas grad, Chad, because whenever I came up here, I saw my Mizzou warm-up laying down there in the bleachers that I had to go down and retrieve.
It burned me.
Hey, Chad, was he nice enough not to mention that for the first time in forever, Missouri owns the most recent victories in both football and basketball?
Well, I actually conceded that, and he certainly acknowledged it right as soon as I conceded it.
You got to admit, it's been a long time since, honestly, that's happened, given the basketball dominance of Kansas. And Missouri in football has been the better team, but I'm glad they've rekindled the rivalry on both sides, though, the football and the basketball. It's good for the fans.
You went up to that Alabama game last week, Mike. That was a pretty good one.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, that was an elite level game. Missouri had the issue that, as we talk about, they turned it over a couple of times at key moments and still were, a possession away from winning that thing. They just got to keep their, I guess you keep your head straight and go to Auburn and play well, because you can erase that Auburn 0-3 conference record. They've lost 3 gut-wrenching games to some pretty good teams. That's going to be a tough game tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to it, though.
Yes, it is. Auburn is probably really smarting from that L last week. They're going to come out with fire in their eyes. Ought to be a good ball game.
Still, you're combined to this heating and cooling third quarter reset, and Coach Stolzer, it feels like if Central can move the chains, they have the formula to win it because they can melt that clock so effectively.
Yes, they did a great job of controlling the ball. You know, like Coach Jamerson said, Central did a good job of keeping the ball away from them. And if they can do that second half, they're definitely going to have a chance. But, you know, start off here, Dexter gets their hands on the football. They're going to have to stop them, try and get them 3 and out, or maybe 2 offensive sets, and get the ball back and go to work themselves.
It'll be Devin to Devin. Devin Graff kicking it for Park Hill Central, and the deep man for Dexter is Devin Turnbow, a dangerous return man as well as running back. Turnbow grabs it at the 17-yard line, goes to his left, and Central does a nice job of shutting down the corner over there, forcing him out of bounds at the 37-yard line. So we'll see Dexter with the ball to start that second half of play. Devin Turnbow already with 77 yards rushing in the ball game. His fullback and mate in the backfield, Jason Hrvojevic, with 43 yards rushing in that first half.
Dexter's kids do a real good job of blocking on their kickoff return. I thought that was going to get more that time. Their kids are really getting after Central's kickoff coverage.
Rodney Greenwald running off the field, tapping his helmet. They send him right back out there. So Geatley, the quarterback, pitching it to Turnbow. Turnbow off tackle. He looked like he had a seam for a moment, and 4 red shirts jump on top and haul him down. That charge led by Max Woods. You know, I know that Turnbow had 77 yards rushing, but one of those was a good 48-yard run. They've not given him many opportunities to have wide running lanes. What he has gained, he has really earned. In fact, he broke 3 or 4 tackles and eluded some guys on that big run.
Yeah, just like we talked about before, right at the start of the second half, the Central's got to keep the ball out of their hands. So you give them enough chances, they're going to break a long one.
Hrvojevic is the fullback just off the left hip of Geatley. Geatley wants to pass it. He's back in a clean pocket, looking over the middle. Does complete it. That's to his wide out Lovelady. I didn't think initially it was enough for a first down, but the officials mark it is. It's a gain of 10 yards. You know, so many adjustments occur throughout a game, and I think one of the nice adjustments that Dexter has made, Coach, is that instead of going deep or running the flat routes, they've found the middle, underneath.
You know, they're going to loosen, if they start throwing the ball here, they're going to loosen Central up and move people out, and then that's going to open up their running lanes a lot more.
Turnbow gets it, goes from his right wing back spot and tucks in behind that lead block of his fullback Hrvojevic and gains 4 yards. Turnbow at 81 yards for the game. He averages 113 a ball game, but he doesn't play the entire game. They blow people out usually.
Gain of 5 will make it 2nd and 5.
2nd and 5 here for Dexter. 10-12 and counting down here in the third. 14-7 the score, as Dexter was able to score with just 25 seconds remaining in that first half to take the lead into the locker room. Turnbow gets it once again, and Turnbow leans into it, gains 4 yards. Coach, that ball was actually pitched by Geatley, and I don't know how they're going to score it, meaning the guy who takes stats for the Bearcats, but that should actually be passing yardage right there.
If it was a forward pitch, that goes down and stats as a pass.
Yeah. It was just forward, but yeah.
I mean, it's just like a shuffle pass.
Yeah, exactly.
If you throw a shuffle pass, it goes in the books as a pass.
3rd and a yard, and Central jumps.
And then, if, like I said, on a forward pitch like that, if there's a fumble, it's an incomplete pass.
Yeah. So Central jumps offsides right there. Threlkeld got caught. And it'll be a 1st and 10. So 1st and 10 for the Bearcats. They go from the 37 of Central. The give is to Hrvojevic, the fullback, off tackle left side, just plowing his way ahead. Ducks behind the left side of that line and gains 7. Let's shout out the names of those young men. Logan Reed, Jack Smith, and Jacob Huey along the left side of that front for Dexter. Did a nice job of collapsing the defensive front for the Rebels there.
That they did. They did a little fold block that time. One guy blocked down, and the guard moved around the tackle and let him upfield. And they're getting angles.
You hear a lot about defensive stunts, but the offensive line does the same thing with those pulls and cross blocks.
Yeah, it's just you want to make the defensive linemen worry about which direction they're going to get hit from. They start worrying about that.
Second and third, Hrvojevic makes it to the outside this time, to the 20 now to inside of the 15-yard line. That'll be a gain of 15 yards for Hrvojevic. And on his 8th carry, he has now compiled 65 total yards rushing.
We'll give him the Dexter offense 10 and the running back or fullback 5.
Can we spread that out somehow? Yeah, the offensive front for Dexter is kind of taking over here.
Yes, it'd be interesting to see how many yards after first touching their backs are getting.
First and 15 here for Dexter. They'll put both wingbacks to the right side, Lovelady and Turnbow. One wide to the left side. But they'll just keep it with Hrvojevic. He's to the 10, puts the right shoulder down, slams to the 8. A gain of 7 for Hrvojevic, and it's the same recipe you just mentioned, Coach. The line gives him the first 5 yards. He'll take the next 2, and it's a pretty good combination of line working with back right there again. Second and just 3 yards now. Line of scrimmage just inside of the 9-yard line. Geatley, the quarterback, orchestrating this. Noah Tinnen then the slot to the right side. Hrvojevic. Lead blocking right here for Turnbow. It's student body middle. And another first down and a gain of 5 yards down to the 3.
They're bringing that wing around from the edge, giving it to him where he's got. There's your running 40 time, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
I mean, they're giving him a few steps, and he's getting the ball at full speed every time and able to cut it up inside, follow the fullback, and it's just tough to stop.
They turn that flying 40 into just to almost just a flying lead is what it turns into. Geatley, quarterback keeper, and he's brought down after just 1 yard. Flying off the edges, Rodney Greenwalt. Geatley with 13 yards rushing on 5 carries. Greenwalt's done a nice job coming off the edge tonight. He's made several plays.
No gain on the play. Will be second and goal from the 3.
Silas Richardson helping on that tackle. Reminds us once again that you can watch the Parkland podcast starting tomorrow morning. They'll be chatting with Super Bowl champ Kyle Richardson from Farmington. Punted for the Baltimore Ravens. Geatley, the quarterback, Hrvojevic right behind him. Hrvojevic straight up the gut, meets 2 would-be tacklers, starts to shove them, but can't beat the 3rd. He's down to the 1.
Heck of a job by Central's defense that time. He had his legs churning, spinning, but the Central's kid just kept piling on, pushing back, and stopped him.
He does not go down easy.
No.
Dexter with about 5 feet to go here on a 3rd and goal. It's right around that 2-yard line. Dexter's just played power football. They did complete 1 pass in the middle. That helped out the cause. Otherwise, it's been power football. This is Turnbow looking for his 3rd touchdown of the ball game. The officials come in and signal that he has it. So the 2-yard touchdown run by Devin Turnbow, and he's got all 3 scores tonight for these Bearcats. And here's a look at that latest example of good power football by these Bearcats.
First touch, watch them get behind him and it's the high school version of the tush push, I guess you'd call it, or whatever. They're not really getting that low, but their kids get behind him and get in front of him and push and get her in the end zone. It's hard to stop when your offensive line's that good and the backs you got running behind them are that big and strong.
The extra point. Snap is there. Hold is down. And the poke fly meddlers up and through. And the Bearcats lead for the first time by 2 scores tonight. 5.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd. 21-7. Dexter leading Central The Rebels will have their first chance on the offensive side when we come back on Parkland Sports Live. 21-7 Bearcats. Mike Reeves, our man on the field, got a pretty good example of a pretty nice power football drive there, Mike.
It was terrific. And, guys, I don't know if you, at your angle, you're not that far off the field, but I'm right here on this thing. Is Jason Hrvojevic as impressive up there as he is down here? He's just been remarkable, whether it be blocking, whether it be running the ball. He is a legit stud on a football field. He's fun to watch.
I love the kid, Mike, as a football player. And, you know, you can talk about running and blocking, and he is a fantastic defensive player, too. He will bring the pads to you from that middle linebacker spot as well.
Heck of a football player.
Modest return for Central. They have a long field in front of them, and they've been running this tandem running back offense with wedge principles. August Black, Karis Foster, two best running backs on the team, standing in tandem in the backfield. One of them gets the snap and goes. They're really not running really any zone read or any option out of this yet.
It's kind of power football.
So 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line for the Rebels. I mean, they have nothing but beef in front of them right there. Black and Foster. Foster gets it. Foster gains a few yards. He's met out of the 18-yard line. So a gain of 4 or 5 right there. They can live with that.
The way it looks. You know, Central's going to have to answer here. You know, they can't run a few plays and kick it back. Dexter's definitely got the momentum going now, so Park Hills needs to get a little bit of momentum themselves going, which they obviously did there. They picked up a 5 on first down.
Yeah, the Rebels not really built for a late-game rapid multi-touchdown comeback at this point in the year. 4:42 and counting down here in the third quarter, 21-7. Dexter leads. August Black met in the hole. 3 tacklers right there with him. Gains a pair. It'll bring up a 3rd and 3.
Well, there's some collisions going on up there between the line of scrimmage and the backs carrying the ball or whatever. I mean, everybody's just kind of shoe to shoe right now. It looks like something from the Stone Age, so to speak, offensively.
Coach, we used to run a drill in high school, at my high school, called 5-yard football. I'm going to tell you about 5-yard football after this. So here's August Black, breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage, rushes forward for a pair, trying to dig for more. He got close to the first down, but I don't know if he got it.
It's going to be close. It's really going to be close. Was that your version of 5-yard football?
What our coaches did, he gained 3, by the way, and they will move the stick, so a big first down for the Rebels. What they would do is they would go to the sideline, and they would mark off 5 yards, and they would put blocking dummies 5 yards from the sideline, and then your football field would be 5 yards long. Then you would get 4 guys within that area, and you would just go at it, and that's what it looks like to me as 5-yard football. This will be Karis Foster this time. And Karis is captured at the line of scrimmage. Hrvojevic finished him off at the end of the thing, but he was captured early by Rhett Womble, outside backer. I guess he did get a modest gain, just a yard.
Yeah. No, that was just kind of a toughness drill to see who
wanted to get out there.
Who was your defensive men and who your offensive men were, just kind of one-on-one. It's crazy coaches. You always had to have something to toughen your kids up or see who the toughest ones were. Asking them didn't do very well because they all used to say they were tough.
Here's a little different alignment. You've got Foster in front of Karis Black, or Karis Foster in front of August Black, and Foster actually threw the ball.
He didn't. Foster didn't look like your prototype quarterback.
No, he didn't. but at least it's a wrinkle.
Yes.
And that went incomplete. It was intended for Brody Cole. Karis Foster actually had not thrown the ball so far this year. So that is his first pass attempt. And that goes incomplete. And now you have the rare sighting of Brody Pigg trotting out onto the field to come out here on this 3rd and long.
Okay, they go to their conventional 2x2 set.
They'll flood it to the left side. Now, man running off the field to make it 11. Run a little motion here. That was Nick Fowler. And as Central kind of shifts from what they've been doing all game with new personnel, new alignments, and a new play, it doesn't all come together, and Kory Schweiss says, let's talk it over, guys. 2:44 remaining in the third, 21-7. As Dexter leads Central, we're back after this on Parkland Sports Live.
Why do so many people like working at the Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center?
The pay is awesome. What we do for our clients is awesome. The coworkers that we have, the staff, everybody is just, they're all welcoming.
I feel very supported. It's a great network of people that we have working here. We really work together, I think, to try to improve the lives of those that we serve.
The insurance is phenomenal. The cost is minimal. They're good to us. And the benefits are so great, you can't beat it.
Apply today.
Back from the timeout, 3rd and 9 for Central. They work with it at their own 25-yard line, and Brody Pigg enters the game as the quarterback. He'll put Nick Fowler in motion to the left side. Brody going to roll to the right side, fires it down the field. A good-looking pass. Were they able to complete it past the stick? No, just incomplete to Devin Graff, but Brody with a pretty nice effort right there. Gave his wide receiver a chance at that thing anyway. Well, Mike, we talked about Jason Hrvojevic, but really everything for Central right now is difficult. And then you're talking about guys like Ryan Lohman, Landon Anniser, Caden Hart along that defensive front, and even Rhett Womble, the outside linebacker, has done a pretty nice job.
When you have a defense that can face an offense that isn't prolific at throwing the ball, and then that team that's not prolific at throwing it needs to be able to throw it to get back in the game, then your defense becomes a very, very simple based. You can do exactly what you want to defensively. You know that you don't have to worry too much about being burned with the pass, and I think Dexter's playing that way. They're ultra aggressive, and they've got the upper hand in a big way now.
Yeah,
nice work by Nick Fowler there. Punts it down to the 30-yard line.
Very much so, Mike. I agree greatly with you. The thing about Dexter is, they've shown tonight that they can throw the ball, but their right hand is a running game. So, if that's working, why use your left hand and just do what's working for you? But, they're making Central play them honestly.
An update from Festus. Festus has gotten closer to Farmington. Farmington leads 28-21 midway through the third quarter. Ball in the hands of Will Geatley and the Dexter Bearcats. Dexter averages 48 points a game, and, well, they're not on schedule for that. The Central defense has played them, I think, much tougher than many of their opponents. But Dexter, as Coach said, the running game has been impressive, and they have done a nice job sprinkling in the pass, but this time they jump early. Third penalty for Dexter, but they've only been assessed 15 yards, just the 5-yarders each time. They'll bring up a 1st and 15 for them. North County a winner last night at St. Clair. Last week and for several weeks, North County started 1-5. They were at the bottom of their district. They have climbed 2 spots, and after starting 1-5, if the playoffs started today, right now, North County would have a home game. Still a lot to be determined in their Class 4 district, but North County's starting to play pretty good football at the right time, and we saw them have a very impressive performance, Coach, last week at Windsor. 6-yard gain for Turnbow.
Very impressive last week. They completely dominated that game.
Running and passing, and fewer mistakes. That was the big issue for that. They cut down the turnovers, they cut down the penalties, they cut down the negative plays.
Windsor was the one making the mistakes last week, and North County took advantage of them.
2nd and 9. Hrvojevic, the fullback. Turnbow's the wing on the left side. Turnbow going to run that lead play behind Hrvojevic. He's got a gap to run through and gains 6. as much as even 100 yards, by the way, for Devin Turnbow now. As much as we do talk about Hrvojevic and Turnbow, and they're very good running backs, if that offensive line could give you 4 yards before you get hit, I mean, to me, that's the engine of the team.
Exactly.
I'm impressed with the offensive line here.
Very much so. They've done a great job. It'd be interesting, watching their quarterback gets the ball. They run the wing in motion, giving him that running start, but every time he pitches it forward, now that was a handoff that time. The previous play, he tossed it forward. It'd be interesting to see what the officials, if they would call an incomplete pass.
Hrvojevic is buried that time. Good work by the Central defense standing tall. Silas Richardson comes off the bottom of the pile. Should have that been passing yardage the last play, Coach?
Not on this one.
No, to Turnbow, the play before. Was that passing yardage?
It would be interesting to see how they log it because his handoff is a toss forward.
I'm going to change my math then because I marked that as rushing yardage, and I missed that one. I caught the one earlier, but thanks for helping me on that one. So Turnbow does not have 100 yards rushing then. He's at 94.
Like I said, it depends on how.
Yeah. Another false start for the Bearcats. Well, we'll score it the correct way, and then we'll leave it to them to determine if they want to as well, I guess. That brings up a 4th and 6. And what a huge stop for this Rebel defense if indeed the Bearcats do punt it. 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter and 21-7. Central hanging around here.
A big stop. Now they just need to get something going offensively.
Jackson Medler, the punter, nice snap to him, puts his right foot into it. It's a short punt, but it takes a Bearcat hop, and Central will take over at their own 40-yard line. Rebels didn't get much out of their last drive. But I'll tell you, if they can drive here, they can make it a ball game going into the fourth. 10 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Central's been at the short end of the yardage in this ball game, but they forced a couple of turnovers and they've hung around.
It'll be interesting to see. It looks like Central's going to go back with the form. No, they got Pig in there right now.
Indeed, they do. He hands it off to August Black, who bolts through the middle for a 9-yard gain. So maybe just show him something a little different.
Well, I was just going to say, 2 or 3 yards in a cloud of dust, it's getting to be, time to get something done here. You got a quarter left. They're down 2 touchdowns, and if you go the length of the field and it takes you 12 minutes to do so, it's going to be tough to do that again if you get your hands on the ball. So, they might try but going back to their conventional offense or mixing it up a little bit and keep Dexter guessing what they're going to do. Of course, Dexter's all what they got to do is look for number 5 in the backfield, and they'll tell them right away what's going on.
End of the third, 21-7. Dexter leading Central. We're back after this on Parkland Sports Live.
When comfort matters, count on Capayas Heating and Cooling. Proudly serving St. Francis and surrounding counties, they are your local Bryant Factory authorized dealer, delivering top-quality heating and cooling solutions for your home or business. Founded in 2004 by Chuck Capayas, a family-owned and operated company that you can trust. Visit capayasheatingandcooling.com today. Capayas Heating and Cooling in Farmington, 756-1224.
Rebels football. They've got a 2nd and 4. It was a good run by August Black to close the third quarter. And he breaks a few tackles to get to midfield right there on a gain of 3. 20 carries for August Black. He's worked hard tonight. He's got 62 yards. So the yards have been very tough to come by.
They have. It's a lot of head knocking to get those yards, too. I tell you what, a lot of times when they were going with the 2-back set instead of the quarterback, it's like running into a brick wall.
They've got Brody Pig, their day 1 starting quarterback out there. Black eludes a tackler, and he could be gone. August turns on the Jets, and there's nothing left but a vapor trail. 51 yards for August Black, and Central will not go away. 11:20 remaining in the fourth. 21-13, the Rebels within a score. Coach, take a look at this jump cut right in the backfield there.
Yeah. Somebody got through the line. He jumped away from it. You know, when we were here a couple of weeks ago when I was down on the field talking to the coaches, I was watching them warm up, and they were doing that kind of drill down there. So obviously it's really paid a big dividend for him right there.
The Rebels trying to get within 7 here. Snap is there. Hold is down, and the extra point sails through. 11:20 remaining in the fourth, 21-14. The Rebels within a score of the Bearcats. Your kickoff on the other side of this timeout on Parkland Sports Live. (21-14), Rebels within a score. Mike Reeves, so we saw some nimbleness and some speed out of Devin Turnbow in the first half. And August Black maybe kind of matched him move for move right there.
I'll tell you what that play did, guys, is it infused energy back into this central sideline. I spent the third quarter over on the Dexter sideline, just kind of getting a feel for things over there. Was walking back over here and just arrived at the sideline as he broke that run. Terrific move, and then the great run that you guys described and everybody was able to see so well. But you talk about just changing the vibe. That changed the vibe. Now we'll see where it goes from there.
Yep.
Graf kicks it out of bounds. It'll be good field position, 35-yard line for the Bearcats. Anytime Turnbow doesn't touch it on a return, though, that's not the worst thing if you're a Rebel fan.
Not the way they've been running the ball back. Central Lane gave up about 6 yards on that.
August Black now with 21 carries and 113 yards. He had 62 yards through his first 20 carries and then the 51-yard burst. It was a good, powerful drive by the Bearcats the last time they touched it. Sprinkled in one pass. The rest were punishing running plays. But maybe a little inspiration, as Mike Reeves said on that central sideline. They did force a punt last time. Here's Hrvojevic. Tries to find that right corner. And a gain of 6 yards for him.
2 for the team, 4 for him. Again, he continues just after first touching to really drive.
The Bearcats are on pace for 2 100-yard backs tonight. Devin Turnbow has 94 yards on 13 carries. Hrvojevic has 11 carries and 80 yards. They're a pretty good 1-2 punch back there. 2nd and 4. Hrvojevic, the fullback. Turnbow comes from the wing. And it's that flying lead, I guess we've decided to call it.
Flying lead pass, I guess you call it. I don't know, he tossed it forward. Quarterback got it, and the back came inside of him or in front of him, and he tossed it.
So gain of 3, so we're marking that as passing yards. Okay. Just to let folks know, because when the toss goes forward.
Well, we won't call these official stats.
Hey.
Hey.
Hrvojevic gets the first down on the 4-yard gain.
You know, that was a definite run, a handoff.
So Dexter quickly into central territory. 9:55 remaining in the fourth, 21-14 the score. Dexter leads by a touchdown. It's Hrvojevic and Turnbow with Geatley running the operation from the quarterback spot. Pair of wings here. Turnbow gets that forward pitch toss, again.
Yep. He picks up about 4. You know, that's something in your coaches, officials conference before a ball game. That's something as a head coach you'll do is remind the officials about what you do offensively and remind them that, you know, a lot of your handoffs are actually tosses forward, which should go down as a pass. So if there is a fumble, rather than saying, if the defense would happen to recover it, say, hey, that's an incomplete pass, so the officials, don't make an easy mistake.
2nd and 6. Turnbow again. They hand it to him this time. He's trying to get to that left corner. Breaks the tackle, turns upfield, spins, but then driven down after a 2-yard pickup. Nice closing out there by the Central defense, Rodney Greenwalt, once again. So those were some rushing yards for him. But a hold against the Bearcats, and that nullifies what was just a modest 2-yard gain. Bearcats have their 5th penalty, but their first 10-yard infraction. The officials going over to the Central captain, describing him. Coming up next week, folks, we will have the Central Rebels once again in the final week of the regular season. It'll be a St. Francis County showdown as Central heads to Farmington next week for week number 9. Farmington in a pretty good battle at Festus tonight, 28-21. At last check, the Knights were leading the Tigers. 2nd and 14. Geatley back to pass. Looks over the middle, and it's in and out of the hands of Justice Lovelady. Pass goes incomplete.
Like it might have been just behind him just a little bit, not much. So the quarterback had some heat on that one.
28 all at Festus now, by the way. Coach, there are certain plays that are kind of swing plays in ball games. This feels like it could be one of them.
Yes. If Central can stop them here and get the ball back and go on a drive of their own, definitely going to have a new ball game. Big down right here.
8:49 remaining in the 4th, 21-14. Dexter leading Central. Geatley gives to Turnbow, who wants to throw it. The coverage is there. Central trying to track him down as he tries to get to the right edge. A big gain by Turnbow. It won't be enough for a first down, but Turnbow turned a potential sack into about a 13-yard gain. There are Rebels late to get up all over the field. Max Woods, one of those Rebels, and Silas Richardson, another of the Rebels. A gain of 13 by Turnbow. Then Turnbow now with 109 yards rushing. What a tremendous play by Turnbow. Kory Schweiss is his secondary. He has felt like his secondary may be the strength of his team, and for his secondary to have the coverage on a play like that was tremendous, but Turnbow just made something special out of it.
Yeah, it's just, you got a running back trying to play quarterback, and, a quarterback might have a little bit more patience there, but Turnbow said, we're not going to try and throw that, and I'm going to run it, and he made a big gain.
Mike Reeves down on the sideline, and Mike, it's been a little bit of a game of attrition for Central. It seems like they're losing more guys as the game goes along down there.
Oh, yeah, as that last play ends, Max Woods comes off the field. He's over here seated with the training staff working on him. It's a right leg, some sort of injury there, and they have been dealing with off and on things all night long, yet they found a way to be in this thing late. But, the one thing that nobody wants this time of year is to have it become a battle of attrition, and you don't want to get this point in the season as you get close to state playoff district time and be shorthanded. I know a lot of teams deal with it, but it's something that you really don't want to see, and Central right now has got a few question marks related to injuries.
Rebels losing a very good player in Dakota Bowers prior to this game. Chad Cosby injured during the first half of this game, and now you've got your nose guard and one of your middle linebackers, Silas Richardson and Max Woods, both over on the sideline.
Big. Here's a play of the game, I'd say, Chad.
So 4th and 4 for Dexter. Well, you've got a great running back, you've got a great fullback, but you've got a quarterback that certainly is capable of completing passes. I don't see Turnbow in there. Their biggest weapon is not in there. Rhett Womble is in for him. So a 4th and 4, and their most prolific player not in there.
They got
Instead, they'll pitch to the backup, Jackson Miller, who is caught 1 yard shy at the 40-yard line, and the injury-depleted Rebel defense stands up.
Dexter stopped short of the first down. Central will take over first and 10.
Well, you called it the play of the game right there, Coach. And it could be the first one anyway, but now the Rebels have to convert.
Yes. They stopped them. Now they're going to have to do something offensively, too.
That sideline has to be a complete seesaw right now, Mike, with one moment great players coming over injured, the next moment the team coming up with huge plays out there.
Everything is exactly what you just described it to be. It's kind of up, it's down. By the way, Silas Richardson looks like he's okay and will get back in the game.
Okay, good news for those Rebels. They give it off to August Black, who leaps over a pile for 1 yard. August Black with 114 yards rushing. He has become the game's leading rusher. 109 for Turnbow. So August Black has 114 now. Last time we saw August Black, he was galloping 51 yards for a touchdown. 2 wides to the right, 2 wides to the left side. Brody Pigg, the quarterback, flips it out to the right side, completes it out there to Nick Fowler, who is immediately belted and dropped after a 2-yard gain.
Was either the corner or the outside linebacker sitting there just waiting and chomping at the bits for that.
The first completed pass of the game for the Rebels. Brings up a 3rd and 6. 7.5 minutes left, down by a score. You're 44. Is this 4-down territory yet or not?
No, I would say not. No.
Okay. Trips to the left, 1 man to the right side. Brody Pigg, the quarterback, looks to the right side, fires it out there. Pass complete to Karras Foster. Pigg put it right on the money in a gain of 15 yards. The second completed pass of the ball game. Nice job by Brody Pigg, Coach, staying ready for his team.
Yes, he did. I tell you, Foster is very good catching that ball on out in the flats or whatever. I've been really impressed with him all year long when we've had their games.
And there was the replay. He put it right on the money on that timing route. 2 wides to each side. Black the single setback. Foster comes in motion.
Whoops.
They fake it to him, then pitch it to him. The ball's on the ground, and the question is going to be, did he hand it to him or did he pitch the ball forward? So is it a fumble or an incompletion? There's a flag on the ground.
It looked like he was going to hand it off to him, and there was some pressure there, and then he tried to just toss it to him.
And here's a look at that play once again. Confusion in the backfield.
Yeah,
and it's really hard to see.
Looks like he fumbled it, and Pigg caught it, then tried to toss it forward to him. All right, incomplete pass.
Now the good news for the Rebels is a penalty on the Bearcats here.
Ooh, that's a big one. Holding.
So 15-yarder. A late hit against the Bearcats. And the Rebels are doing business now. Deep into Bearcat territory. They're inside of the 30. 1st and 10 for Central at the 28-yard line of the Bearcats. Fowler in motion. Fake it to him. Then it's Black. Hrvojevic catches him in the backfield and throws him down.
Okay, they tried to run a little counter there, pulled, and a defensive lineman got in before Central's left guard could come across and trap him.
A loss on the play. Bring up a 2nd and 13. I like the concept. Problem was that you had Hrvojevic on the other side. 2 wides to each side. Pigg the quarterback. August Black beside him. Nick Fowler goes in motion. They'll give it to him on the jet sweep. He's trying to get to the corner. He beats 1 man now, too. Down to the left sideline. It's a gain of 8 yards. That's just staying after your blocks right there.
Yes, it's tell you, you look at Central's front 5 they've got down in the box there. There's some pretty hefty bodies up there and some very athletic bodies as well. They not just big bodies, but they move well and seem to be pretty athletic.
A couple of second half stops, big ones for this Central defense. They've only given up 1 score here in the second half. Time on the field, take it with them. Our score, Dexter 21, Central 14, the Rebels driving. 6.5 minutes remaining in regulation. We're back after this on Parkland Sports Live.
Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling has the equipment and know-how to get that job done right. They dig basements, ponds, lakes, roads, and clearings and haul in the rock. Check out Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling's commercial work at Domino's in Farmington and Fredericktown and Leadbelt Motorsports. Call Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling today at 701-3258. That's 701-3258.
Mike Reeves down on the field with us tonight. So whether it was the change of alignment or play calling or maybe the insertion, just the fact that Brody Pigg is out there, this offense has gotten a little life here lately, Mike.
The big thing is you break off a long touchdown run. I mean, now, did that happen because of the change of personnel, the way they went about things? Okay, that's for debate. We can ask that question later. The bottom line is this. You've got to take advantage of that late hit penalty, too, now that you're down here. Guys, I thought it was a little iffy on a late hit because he was still fighting, battling, but they went with it, and now a chance for Central. Big play here. 2
wides to each side. August Black standing off the right hip of Brody Pigg, 3rd and 6. Pigg back to pass, looks to the end zone, looking for his man Nick Fowler. Fowler gave it a good effort right there, but a tip of the cap to Jackson Miller out there on coverage, running step for step.
Very good coverage on that. Ball was still even well thrown too, but.
Well, here's another one of those plays of the game, right?
Oh, yeah. Big play here.
6 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in the fourth. Festus has now taken the lead on Farmington, 35-28. And Central facing a crucial 4th down. A 4th and 6 from the 24-yard line of Dexter. Rebels down by 1 touchdown. Karras Foster in motion to the right side. Pigg rolls to the right side. Looking downfield, still rolling. He's to the sideline. Throws it downfield, and it's incomplete, and the Bearcats have held.
Dexter will take over 1st and 10.
Dexter, coach, had to cover receivers for a long time with that long rollout, and they stayed with it.
They stayed right with them then, and Pigg just ran out of field. He got too close to the white. He had to do something with it. Rather than give it up there, be tackled there, at least get rid of it. And
we'll be looking for a Domino's Pizza player of the game and our Pettis Automotive player to point to on our Mac Tech post-game show, so stick around for that. We've got a good one here at Central. 21-14, the Dexter Bearcats, ranked 4th in the state in Class 3 and undefeated at 7-0, lead the 4-3 Central Rebels 21-14. Will Geatley, the quarterback for the Bearcats, brings the troops out. Now we did not see Devin Turnbull on that 4th down play when the Rebels will stop them on that last drive. He is back in the lineup now, though. And a timeout now on the field.
Dexter had some people or some trouble getting their personnel out in the field, called a timeout.
We'll break with them. 6:20 remaining in the fourth. 21-14 Dexter. We're back after this on Parkland Sports Live. First and 10 for Dexter after stopping Central on downs. Devin Turnbow gets the pitch. I think the backward pitch that time, and he hustles out there for a 7-yard gain. Turnbow with 116-yard rushing tonight. He just was able to eclipse August Black, who has 113. So that's been a good kind of battle inside of the numbers.
Well, Dexter does a good job when they want to get outside of creating a corner and everybody getting out in front of the ball carrier. And nice play.
Gavin Pasley, a new fullback, out there for Dexter, giving Hrvojevic a little bit of a break. Pasley in front of Turnbow, who is grabbed in the backfield and pounded down. Tremendous job by this Rebel defense. And they bring him down for a loss. Abel Mills on the stop right there. Abel Mills usually number 64.
for Dexter.
Wearing number 19 tonight. A loss of a pair for Turnbow. And that brings up third down. Coach, you just mentioned it, 5.5 minutes remaining.
Yes,
That's plenty of time if they can get a stop here.
Big down here again. There's been a lot of big downs. They're hitting the corner.
Pitch to Turnbow.
Oh.
He gets the right corner and the first down. Gain of 10 for Turnbow.
Okay, 4 to the team, 6 for Turnbow. Of course, as soon as he gets a little contact, he starts spinning and keeping his legs going, and he's tough to stop for no gain.
It's kind of an all-purpose kind of back. Got some speed, got
Yes.
some power, reads well, sees the holes.
Both of their backs are like that.
Yeah. 5:05 and counting down on the fourth. And if you're the Bearcats, Coach, you're keeping this on the ground and grinding clock, correct?
Yeah, you're watching the play clock, and don't snap the ball until it's down to almost zero.
Hrvojevic met in the hole and driven back. No gain for Hrvojevic. Central defense stiffens once again as they go deeper into their depth. Eric Sanders, part of that run-stopping unit out there right now.
Dexter takes their time getting up, watching the play clock.
Or Keegan Sherrill, I beg your pardon. Misidentified that young man. Keegan Sherrill with a nice play. Here's a 2nd and 10.
Oh, they didn't get it off. They weren't watching it close enough to lay a game on them.
Have you ever taught a quarterback when he pitches the ball to a tailback to pitch it overhand?
Overhand? Well, no, not overhand.
That's how he pitches
on
it.
the option play. When teams used to run the option, it was kind of an
Side,
underhand.
yeah.
Underhand, where from thumb down up, or thumb going down like that. But
Geatley will bring it up to his chest and then pitch it.
Chest pass.
Pitch it over, almost like a basketball pass. Here's a 2nd and 15. Rebel fans coming to life. Hrvojevic, I formation, Turnbow behind him, and they're looking for it all down this left sideline, and the pass goes incomplete to Houston Neely, but a flag on the play. That was Kory Schweiss on coverage, running step for step, and the officials said maybe just a little too tight. Here's a look at that play. I like the play call. Just kind of a keep them honest. Let's see if you're... How often do you see that?
Not very often in high school.
They picked it up. And Dexter's going, well, we're 100 miles from home, guys. Right?
Guys, I know I watch way too much college and pro football, and the hand fight, everything that they let go there. Watching that play, I didn't see much. I saw a little bit of hand fighting, but at the high school level, that's often is called.
Yeah.
But I was okay with no call, honestly.
Geatley back to throw it again. He fires over to the right curl route and picks up about half of it to Neely. Yeah, I didn't see a lot there either, Mike.
All right. How many times tonight have we said play the game, Chad?
Yeah.
Here it comes again.
Here's play of the game number 3.
Only 3?
But are you going for it here?
Yeah.
I mean, would you go for this? Don't you want to force Central to drive the length of the field?
3.5 minutes ago yet. They turn it over there. They're helping Central out unless they're going to try and get Central to jump here.
Sure are. There's the hard count. You can see him barking.
Yep.
You can see him bobbing his head.
Yep.
Now that, to me, that's a pretty good idea. Yeah. Dexter calls for a timeout. I think you have to. You're the Hall of Fame coach. I'm the dumb broadcaster. I think you have to punt this, but you tell me.
Now you brag at you. No, you got to punt it and make them drive. Central, they broke a long run earlier tonight, but that's their forte is to grind it out. And with 3.5 minutes, They make a couple of nice completions, a couple of runs. They're gonna have a chance regardless. But you make them earn it. Don't give it to them in midfield.
Mike, you've been roaming the central sidelines down there. A little fire? Are they showing some fire here?
What you got now is a little bit more of the intensity and the focus on game. You've lost that rah-rah kind of thing. You've gotten that moment of, hey, let's focus. Let's stay with this. Let's see what's going to happen. It's kind of reached that level down here.
Karras Foster is a dangerous return man. Can Jackson Medler even get it to him? No. He'll roll it, and probably wise. Rolls out at about the 30. 3 minutes and 12 seconds.
What a ball game.
It's get it done time if you're a Rebel fan. 21-14. Dexter leading these Rebels. They're going to go with the Brody Pig offense. They are. It's had a little bit more life. Brody Pig puts 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Karras Foster, the motion man. They give it to August Black. Off tackle, left side. August Black through, breaks the tackle, and gains 13 yards.
That's a start.
First down for Central.
All right, be thinking ahead here because I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay. Give me a hint for it. I can't think ahead unless you give me a hint.
Just put your head coach hat back on. You know what you're thinking about as a head coach right here. You're thinking, I'm going to go down here and score, and am I going to go for 1 or 2 when I score? Central ball.
Score first.
Here we go. Got to score. But as a head coach, you have to know, though, right, before you get down there.
Well,
Ball carried by August Black.
No gain.
right now we're worrying about scoring. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. You get down inside the 5-yard line, then you start to put your thinking cap on. Long way to go yet.
I think Kory Schweiss will go for 2 if he scores. I'm not saying what I would do, but I think Kory Schweiss will go for 2 if he scores. What a pass by Brody Pig.
It was. Good pass,
hit Nick
good
Fowler
catch.
in stride on that out route on a gain of 7. He put that on the money.
Taken out of bounds by number 1, Jackson Miller, number 5.
Okay.
Terrific pass by Brody Pig. So half the field to navigate. 2:14 remaining in regulation. Dexter 21, Central 14. I know they want to win it outright, but this performance by Central I think bodes well, win or lose.
I think that, definitely. It's been a heck of a ball game. And, you talk about it, I would say probably Kory is going to go for 2 if they get her down there and score.
Brody Pig runs the keeper and moves the sticks on a gain of 4 yards. Tough run by Pig.
First down for Central.
He was hit before the first down marker. He broke a tackle and got past the stick. Pig's giving this offense some life. 2 wides to each side. August Black single setback. Nick Fowler goes in motion. Timeout on the field. You got to get it right. If you see something you don't like, you've got to talk it over. 1:56 remaining in regulation. 21-14 the score. Dexter by 1 touchdown. Central at the Dexter 46-yard line. We're back after this on Parkland Sports Live.
Since 1941, Busenbark Flooring has been Southeast Missouri's trusted name in flooring. This family-owned business features top-quality carpet, tile, and hardwood, along with countertops, kitchens, and bathrooms, all with expert installation. Need to haul it? Busenbark Trailer Sales has you covered. Come see the large selection of dump trailers, equipment haulers, goosenecks, livestock trailers, and more. Visit busenbarkflooring.com and busenbarktrailersales.com, or stop by and see everything at the Fairgrounds exit on Highway 67.
Central back from the timeout, looking at a 1st and 10 here. Go down to Mike Reeves real quick, and Mike, we've had some, kind of some rough news on some players getting dinged up, but some good news on that front from Central.
Yeah, no doubt. Max Woods has been up and moving around just fine, and Silas Richardson has actually been back in the game, so that's real good news for the Rebels.
Surely is. Karras Foster, the motion man, floods the right side with wide receivers, and they'll run the screen to August Black. He jumps out of the arm tackle of one tackler and lunges forward for a 5-yard gain. Pretty nice recovery after that by the defense. Turnbow brings him down, but August Black with a fine individual effort to gain 5 yards. His first reception. Black with 10 catches on the year. Here's a 2nd and 5. And Brody Pig
lost about 10 seconds there in a little bit of confusion whether he wanted to spike it.
You've got a minute 27 left. That was a curious play.
Yeah.
And a timeout, guys. You still had one timeout.
Yeah.
That was curious.
So Pig barks it out and throws it to the right side, intended for Karis Foster. That one goes incomplete. And it comes down to this. 1:26 remaining. Farmington is within an extra point of tying Festus. They just scored. It's 35-34. They got a burner going up there.
Yes.
Just like we have here.
Yes, burner here.
Yeah.
And what were we calling these plays a while ago, Chad? We got another one coming up. Play the game.
Yeah, and we've had a number of them, right?
4th down here.
And Central has won a number of them to stay in this thing.
Yes, and it's they're out of timeouts now. If they turn the ball over with, it's pretty well going to be the ball game.
They wasted a play earlier.
Yes.
By just clocking it with a minute 27 remaining. So now that it turns it into a must-have right here. Central closes its year, regular season anyway, at Farmington next week. We'll have that for you on Parkland Sports Live. And the Dexter Bearcats will close the regular season at Scott City. They'll be presumptive favorites in that game. And here's our 4th down. 4th and 5 for the Rebels. Pig with August Black beside him and 2 wides to each side. Barks it out, and here we go. Looks to the left, covered up, looks to the right, nobody there. Looks forward all to Nick Fowler, down the middle, and Fowler has it. He's down at the 6-yard line. An incredible play and a gain of 34 yards. These Rebels' hearts are still beating.
Now you start thinking about going for 2.
An amazing play by these Rebels, and Fowler was wide open. A terrific throw by Brody Pig. Black takes the direct snap, leans toward the goal line. He's down inside of the 2. Are they going to pull this thing off?
Well, the clock's running. They need to get the ball in.
50 seconds. So plenty of time for the Rebels. You've got your split backfield with August Black and Karis Foster. Ball inside of the 2. Here's the snap to Karis Foster, and he's in! Touchdown from 2 yards out! Foster scores it! And the Rebels now are either a point from tying or a 2-pointer from leading.
Decisions here. What you gonna do? It looks like they are.
I'm telling, just knowing Kory Schweiss, I think he goes for it. Farmington went for 2 and they lead. Okay, the kicker's coming out. It took him a little bit.
You know, the thing about it, he's got a fake PAT in his pocket somewhere too.
Yeah, you know he does. 34 seconds left, and Devin Graff on to try to tie it. And now they're going to run a little swinging gate to the right side. And a whistle and a flag.
Move it. They must have jumped.
And Dexter came across the line.
Against Dexter.
You know Kory always has something in his pocket. We know it. Mike Reeves down there saw that coming from a mile away, didn't you, Mike?
You knew that the option to try to draw him off and then create an even more reasonable chance to go for 2. The right side of the line did jump. There was no question about it in my mind.
Yep. They got
and now they get it closer.
Yard and a half.
A yard and a half for the lead against the 4th-ranked and 7-0 Dexter Bearcats, who have a 17-game regular season winning streak on the line. The last team to beat them, the Central Rebels. August Black.
They're running left.
Gets the snap. Goes to the left.
He's
Gets to the end zone. And the Rebels are on top.
Holy cow.
22-21. And Kory Schweiss with a seemingly limitless supply of rabbits in hats.
Oh my gosh, what a game. Now, kick it out of bounds again, I guess. Don't kick it to the return people.
How many times have we seen this, Mike Reeves?
I can having flashbacks to Jefferson, of course, in that game and how it ended, where it looked like they were in a heap of trouble late, found a way. And then to have this down by 14, get a big run, then get a couple of defensive stops. Don't let those go unnoticed. Those were huge defensive stops. And then enough big plays on offense, including a 4th down down the middle of the field on a long pass. A lot of things that you do to find a way to win. Well, having said all that, Coach, I know you're thinking like a coach, because it's like, now we got to deal with this kickoff and make sure we do it right. Don't allow them to have good field position.
A good return by Jackson Miller earlier in this half. Set his team up at the 35. 34 seconds remaining.
Kick it to one corner, the other, or kick it out of bounds.
And here's a squib kick. This one goes down the middle, makes it a little bit difficult to pick up, but it is picked up and a good solid return out across the 40-yard line. Was that for Voyevich?
Use up some time there, 25 seconds to go.
Let's see who comes off the bottom of that pile. And no, it was not Voyevich. Instead, it was Rhett Womble. But like you said, Coach, 10 seconds is a long time on a kick return in a case like this. So now you almost have to put it in Geatley's hands, don't you?
Well, I would think. You got 25 seconds and, 45 yards to go, 47 yards to go?
57, well, I guess if you're thinking field goal, And Jackson Medler has a good, strong leg. Geatley back in the gun. He's got Hrvojevic behind him. They'll flood the right side with wide receivers. Geatley looking on the deep out route and completes it. Out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Geatley with a tremendous throw to Carson Hurt on a gain of 15.
Something else you got to watch for there is that hook and trail, hook and ladder, call it whatever you want to like that. You know, you curl up in a flat like that, you got somebody trailing who the pass is thrown to.
Central leads 22-21, and you know Devin Turnbow is going to be a prime candidate to be that pitch guy off of something like that. 1st and 10 at the Rebel 42-yard line. 3 wides to the right. Hrvojevic in the backfield. Geatley fires it out to the right side. Pass incomplete. Just a little bit wide of the hands of Devin Turnbow. 15 seconds remaining. 2nd and 10 upcoming. Geatley's thrown for 95 yards tonight. Carson Hurt has been his favorite target, 41 yards receiving on 3 catches. The Rebels were down 21-7 in this half. And a huge 35-yard pass down the middle of the field on a 4th and 5 put him in scoring position. August Black scored it. Karis Foster tacks it on for 2 after kind of a trick formation. Put him halfway to the end zone. Geatley back in the pocket, throwing on the deep out route, and it's dropped. It hit the tight end Hurt in the hands, but he had to wait a long time for it. It made it a hard catch.
That's a long, throwing all the way across the field like that. Oh, man, that's a long way for any quarterback to throw it.
And now we're down to 8 ticks with no timeouts for either team. So
you almost got to
probably have to get out of bounds too.
Well, you got to get out of bounds quicker. If they catch it in bounds and tackle, the game's over. You know, what do? Do you try and go to the end zone, Hail Mary?
Geatley's back in the gun. He's looking at a 3rd and 10. looks down the right seam, and the pass is complete, and Turnbow has it. Turnbow to the 4-yard line. The clock expires, and Central wins.
Cow.
Central wins it as the clock expires on the 6-yard line, and here's how it looked.
What a game. Holy cow.
What a great pass by Geatley, and Turnbow with a sensational catch. But then the game-saving tackle made by the Rebels, August Black, saves it for the Rebels. An incredible game and an amazing win by these Central Rebels as they put a halt to the Dexter Bearcats' perfect season and their 17-game regular season winning streak. Central, the last team to beat them in 2023, 44-10. An amazing win by these Rebels.
What a ball game. I mean, whoever paid to get in here tonight got their money's worth, without a doubt.
And then some. What a game. Let's go ahead and step aside real quick, guys. Whenever Mike Reeves gets the coaches, we will definitely go to him. Your Mac Tech postgame show coming up next.
Why do so many people like working at the Southeast Missouri Mental Health Center?
The pay is awesome. What we do for our clients is awesome. The coworkers that we have, the staff, everybody is just, they're all welcoming.
I feel very supported. It's a great network of people that we have working here. We really work together, I think, to try to improve the lives of those that we serve.
The insurance is phenomenal. The cost is minimal. They're good to us. And the benefits are so great, you can't beat it.
Apply today.
When comfort matters, count on Capayas Heating and Cooling. Proudly serving St. Francis and surrounding counties, they are your local Bryant Factory authorized dealer, delivering top quality heating and cooling solutions for your home or business. Founded in 2004 by Chuck Capayas, a family-owned and operated company that you can trust. Visit capayasheatingandcooling.com today. Capayas Heating and Cooling in Farmington, 756-1224.
Looking for your next car, truck, van, or SUV? Point to Pettis. At Pettis Automotive, service, affordability, and selection are more than just words. They're the foundation of everything they do. You'll see the selection when you drive by any of their 3 locations. You'll feel the affordability when you talk to their experienced sales team. And you'll love the service every time you come in for maintenance. New or pre-owned, from Farmington to Fredericktown to DeSoto, point to Pettis. Visit pettisauto.com. Point to Pettis.
The Central Rebels defeat the previously undefeated Dexter Bearcats tonight on Parkland Sports Live, 22-21. Thanks for joining us on the Mac Tech Postgame show. Mac Tech ready to roll up your sleeves and dive into a hands-on career. Mineral Area College ready for you. Their Mac Tech industry and technology programs are all about getting to work and making things happen. Welding, HVAC, auto tech, construction, and more. Take the first step to a fulfilling career in a Mac Tech program. Apply today at mineralarea.edu. Central wins at 22-21. And Coach, we talked so many times that it felt like Dexter was outplaying Central, but Central was hanging in. And then we mentioned all these key plays that Central made to give themselves a chance.
How many times, jokingly throughout the broadcast, how many times do we mention one another, this is a play of the game. I don't know how many times we said that tonight, but every one of those plays was just a big play. I mean, it's hit the nail on the head, and that's what it was. Central made the most of those tonight, and were rewarded with one heck of a big win.
So Central goes for 2 to win it, but to set up their 2-point conversion, they employ, I don't want to say a trick, they employ a scheme where most of their linemen shift from the left to the right side, making it look like the play's underway. Because of that, Dexter jumps off, and they decrease the amount of space that you need for the 2-point conversion, and Central punches it in.
I mean, their holder obviously just said shift, and whenever you shift, you're allowed to shift however many people you want to shift to that side. And, Dexter's kids keyed up on edge. They moved, they jump across. It worked. And, I'm sure even if they wouldn't have, they had a play designed to run to that side then. It's just, like I said, you practice a lot of things every week, every season. A lot of times you'll never use them. And, this might have been the first time in hard telling how many years that Central's used that play, but you practice it, and when you need it, you've got it. So.
And I will give you credit because you were all over it. I said as they were driving, I've done enough Kory Schweiss games, I thought he would go for 2. He sent out his kicker, Devin Graff. Then you reminded us, well, that doesn't mean they're kicking it. Kory's got some plays from this. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to kick it.
Kory's going to give me some grief again if he watches and listens to this.
Oh, he will.
He's going to say, Stolzer, quit giving away my secrets. I'll just tell him you're getting ready to retire next couple of years anyway.
Let's pass along the numbers. Central wins the ball game tonight, being outgained by over 100 yards. The Dexter Bearcats gained 351 tonight. Central gains only 233. Central gets 162 on the ground. August Black with 128, the big one, the 51-yard touchdown run. Karis Foster scores. He gets the 2-point conversion. He runs for only 28 yards in tonight's ball game. And that brings it to a 170 rushing total. Beg your pardon. So we'll add that in 241 total. They're still outgained by over 100 yards. Brody Pigg, and we're going to tell you right now, Brody Pigg is going to receive our Domino's Pizza Player of the Game. Might be the first quarterback to only throw for 63 yards that gets our Domino's Pizza Player of the Game.
And only play how many plays? A handful of plays in the ball game. But he came in and provided that spark and took him down and scored. And
that 4th down strike to Nick Fowler down the seam.
Yeah.
I mean, play of the game probably, right?
That was the backbreaker for Dexter right there.
Okay. Pigg throws for 63. Okay. Mike Reeves down on the field. And are you joined by a very happy Kory Schweiss, Mike?
Well, let's just look at it from this perspective. They talk a lot about find a way. Kory Schweiss, I mean, you found a way. You made big plays on both sides of the ball. Every facet made a big play at some point, and you find a way. Your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think that's one of those program wins, honestly. I think, it's one of those things that didn't always go our way tonight for sure. And, our kids just never let us lose the game. I mean, they found a way to win it. We went back to our more traditional stuff that we had done and kind of, I wouldn't say we scrapped it, but we kind of went away from it. And Brody Pigg come in, made some big throws for us, and our receivers made some plays. And, it's just good to see that we can go out and execute that kind of stuff as well.
Is it tough to do what Brody's doing in terms of game prep, or is it, hey, that's what we expect you to do, and your job is now this? When we need you need to be ready. Is it difficult at all, or is it just what's expected?
Well, we're asking a lot of him as a sophomore. I mean, when he's going into the game, teams right now are knowing we're probably going to be throwing the football, and that's not a good spot to be in, But he's doing well. I mean, I think he completed 5 of 6 last week in this, and I don't know what he was for sure tonight, but he completed most of his passes again tonight. And that's all you can ask when he goes in there. He's making plays, and I think he's gaining a little bit of confidence. And I know it was probably hard on him when we changed offenses, but at the same time, I think he understands we're just trying to do what's best for our football team at the time. And tonight, it was actually putting him back in the game when we were down a couple scores. So it was big for us to get this win tonight, especially doing it the way we did it.
We'll get to the end of the game in a moment, but the defensive stops that gave you a chance to do that. I was over on your sideline a lot of the night, and I know that was a big focal point. Was you guys helped us to get it back to having a chance in this one. How good were they at times? They were bend, don't break at times, but how big a plays were they making?
Well, it was big, especially once we lost Chad. You know, we got 2 sophomores out there outside linebacker. We ended up putting Abel Mills in there a little bit that played outside linebacker, who's never played a snap of outside linebacker, I don't think, even in practice. And he made some big plays there. So, you know, our guys stepped up. It was pretty actually amazing where we've come from since that week 5 debacle or whatever week that was. Our guys went out and made plays today that, you know, kind of same situation as then and really with no time prepared, and actually went out and did pretty well. So pleased with all the guys' effort for sure.
The game-winning drive, you knew where the clock was, you knew where your situation was. They're out of timeouts towards the end. You're out of timeouts as well as you get down there. Was the intent all along that if we score, we're going to try to win this thing right now, or was that let's score first and then figure out what we're going to do? What was the talk amongst the coasters?
Oh, we were going to score 2 points there. I mean, I went out there before on the 4th and 5. We called a timeout. We really didn't need to call a timeout there, but because the clock was stopped, so we're wasting one of our timeouts. I just went out there and told them we're scoring on our. I told them we're scoring on this play. I thought we'd score. Brody did an excellent job. Pass protection first was great, and then we got down inside the 5. We didn't score, but we got inside the 5, which actually worked out to our advantage because then we were able to run some clock. We were going to try to go fast initially, but then we thought about it. And we're like, heck, I know we didn't have any timeouts, but still we had plenty of time to get plays in. We were just at a minute or whatever, so we didn't want to rush it and give them time at the end. Obviously, if we'd have given them 2 more seconds, it may have been different because the clock would have stopped there on that last play. But we kind of screwed up the same kind of deal in the first half because we ran a play with 15 seconds left on the play clock in the first half when we should have ran a play clock all the way down. Went in and talked about that at halftime. So then the same situation occurred in the second half, and we learned from it, and that doesn't typically happen in the same game, but it did. And I thought we did a better job with the clock there at the end of the game.
How much did them jumping off sides prior to the 2-point? How much did that extra yard and a half matter as far as what you were going to do, or did it at all?
Oh, it changed what we were going to do, but we would have scored anyway. So. It really didn't affect the outcome because I wasn't expecting them to jump off sides, but once they did jump off sides, then we went to something else we thought we could convert on.
Final play of the game, your heart jumps up into your throat. How far when you see the completion and he pulls down and it looks like open field to the end zone? What are your thoughts on that play, and how big a defensive play was it for? I think it was August that got there and was able to haul him down.
Well, especially with their best ball in their best player's hands too. He went up. We had a couple guys there. It was like 3 guys went up. 2 of them were us, and their guy came down with it. And after he come down with it, our guys, August was one of them that went up for it. So Karras was back there to try to get him and got him. And then August came back after he had missed it and come back and finished it off. So, we had preached at halftime because the big play that he had on this far sideline in the first half, we had about 3 guys standing around watching. And, we talked about when we played Potosi, when we played the Walton kid, you can't stand around and watch. You got to have 11 guys go to the ball. We talked about it this week. Number 3 is he's that type of player. And, that turnbow kid's going to make you miss or make the first guys miss a couple times, and you got to have everybody going to it. And luckily, we didn't give up on that play, and it ended up being a great play by those guys.
If indeed this tilts things in a district where you may be able to move into that number 1 seed when it's all said and done, what does playing at home mean versus having to travel? Especially this district's so spread out, travel is a big deal. You go a long way when you travel. Is the potential now to be at home, is that a big factor?
Well, obviously I'm going to say yes because, that would be nice. I think we're probably going to have a little help from Bluff tonight. I don't know what the score of the Bluff-Kennett game is, but I think the way I kind of had it figured out, we need Bluff to beat Kennett so that we can get next to Dexter in the standings so that we can jump them, because if we can't get next to them, and we'll also probably have to have Dexter maybe possibly beat Scott City next week. So there's a couple things that are going to have to happen, but we put ourselves in position with the wins against Dexter and Potosi to be in a decent spot no matter what. And, when it comes down to it, we're going to have to play no matter where it's at. So hopefully it's here, but if it's not, we'll give it our best shot wherever it's at.
Enjoy the rest of the night. We'll see you again in a week.
All right, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
Guys, head coach of the Central Rebels with us, Kory Schweiss. They find a way to get it done tonight. A big play late, a 2-point conversion late, and a defensive stop as the time was running out.
Good call, Mike. Kory's been through so many of these. I'd still be jumping up and down. but he's seen it and he's done it all before.
It's fatiguing, let me tell you. I mean, you're on pins and needles on the sideline, and he'll sleep well tonight. I guarantee you that.
Let's go through the rest of our numbers, then we'll hand out our awards as Festus has knocked off Farmington 41-36. Okay.
Wow.
So the score from that was a good game too, and that'll set up Farmington and Central next week for our week number 9 matchup on Parkland Sports Live. Gave you all the Central Rebels numbers. Big one, 128 for August Black, 63 big passing yards for Brody Pig, part of the big difference in that one. The Dexter Bearcats run for 222. They get 124 out of Devin Turnbow and 3 scores. Jason Hrvojevic runs for 84 on 13 carries. And then the quarterback, Will Geatley, with 13 yards rushing. Geatley threw for 129 on 10 completions in 15 tries tonight. So he was pretty good. It was, the Bearcats win the yardage battle. They just don't win the big plays.
That's going to be one of those games. On both sides of the ball. I'm sure that when Kory watches a film, he's going to say, oh, man, if this would have happened or that would have happened. Just like Dexter's opening drive. If they wouldn't have jumped off sides and given him that, then Dexter probably wouldn't have scored then. And Dexter, the same thing. You can look at these films, and there's always going to be a lot of ifs in a game or whatever, but, they're going to be nice ifs for Kory. What a big win for Park Hill Central tonight.
Our thanks to Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza, I'm telling you what, they support everything around this area, and we appreciate them being a sponsor and supporting our Player of the Game award. Domino's Pizza, delicious, customizable, brings people together. Call your local Domino's. Go online at Domino's.com. Download the app. Super easy to do. It even saves my favorite pizza orders, so you just have to tap that. It's pretty handy. Your local Domino's, Farmington, Park Hills, Bonne Terre, Fredericktown, Potosi, and St. John. Our Domino's Pizza Player of the Game goes to Brody Pig. Didn't have huge numbers, but came in, sparked his team to victory tonight. Now, we also hand out our Pettis Automotive Player to Point To. Pettis Automotive Player to Point To. Pettis Automotive is your hometown choice for great vehicles and service. See the difference. PettisAuto.com. See for yourself in Farmington. We're going to go with 2 Pettis Automotive Players to Point To tonight. And the first one is Rodney Greenwald. Plays outside linebacker. He punched the ball loose on Dexter's first drive inside of the 1-yard line. Goes into the end zone. Central recovers. Gets a touchback. Huge swing there in favor of the Rebels. The other guy, our player to point to, August Black makes a game-saving tackle on the 4-yard line against the best player from Dexter, and that's how the game ends. So some great candidates tonight. Some terrific performances. Central suffers some injury, but they win some huge downs, and they come up with a big victory tonight, 22-21 over Dexter. They win it with a 2-point conversion, and then just keep Dexter out of the end zone on the other end. So a great win. We don't know how the district's going to end up breaking down. Week number 9 is going to have a lot to say about that, but Central has, coach, at least put themselves into position to at least vie for that number 1 seed. If they can get to the top 2, Dexter will still have more points than them, but they would flip them by virtue of the head-to-head matchup.
Yes.
So that's how it all breaks down. Well, we were going to kind of hang out and see if head coach Chad Jamerson comes out to talk with Mike Reeves, but he is not out so far, and I don't think Mike sees him around. So probably going to go ahead and wrap this one up. We've handed out our awards, we've given our stats, and we've beat this up just about every way we can as the Central Rebels win another absolute thriller here in Park Hills. Our final score for the final time, the Rebels 22, previously unbeaten and 4th-ranked Dexter 21. Tremendous job by our team tonight as well. As always, Jacob Towers doing a terrific job engineering and operating our broadcast. Wyatt Cawley, without peer, as running our camera and bringing us the great video that he does each and every week. For Mike Reeves and for Bob Stolzer, we'll say goodbye until next week when we'll be in Farmington for a St. Francis County matchup as the Central Rebels head just down the road and go to Hale Memorial Stadium. I'm Chad Speaker, and I hope your home team did well tonight. Now I'm going to go